Oh my goodness, I'm back again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's twice. Oh shit, you're getting me 3 times today. Hello, hello, hello. I have Sarah backstage. I have Lori, Erica, and Allie backstage. Alyssa is trying to come in. I need someone to send Alyssa the link to the chat and not to the backstage. Please, please, please. Hi, guys. We have Lori. I'm going to bring Lori up. I'm going to bring Allie up. I'm going to bring up Sarah. And I'm going to bring up Erica. Okay. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Hottie.
Hi. Hi, Lori. Hi,
Hi,
Erica.
guys.
Hi, Allie.
Hello.
Lori, do me a favor. Someone named Elisa tried to come backstage, and I forgot the other lady's name.
Lindsay.
But I
Yeah,
kicked them.
we sent the links. I think it's
Okay.
because we shared it on Facebook. We shared the wrong link. So people are trying to watch, not knowing that
Oh,
it's.
see, I wish, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about that, but I have given Sarah the link to this channel
It was my
55
fault.
times. And there is Christopher Hicks.
Oh, listen. That was one of Heather's boyfriends.
I'll bring him. Okay, I'll add him. Hi, Christopher. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay, I'm gonna let you know that you're on the live. You're not in the audience, and I added you because you were Heather's boyfriend, correct? An ex-boyfriend.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So we have everybody's joining the chat still. So we have Lori, Erica, Allie, Sarah, and Chris. Welcome to my channel. Everybody knows Sarah's story, but we're going to go through it again. Heather disappeared. It's been almost 29 years. August 27th. 26, August 26th. Our birthday was just the 20. Oh my God, I got to get these dates.
That's okay,
I told you I'm nervous tonight. So we're here. Sarah has some news that she's going to share with us as far as an update on Heather's case. And then we're going to hear from Lori, who used to date Chris Bellow, who I believe is the person that grabbed Heather off the beach that day. And then we're going to talk with Chris. Chris is Heather's ex-boyfriend. So we're going to have, see what he remembers about Heather. And Sarah, catch us up on what's been going on.
Well, I got word last week that from Mr. McKee, he is the Commonwealth attorney in Henderson, Kentucky. He called and he said, Miss Teague, you have the attention of the higher ups, or you've reached the higher ups. And he let me know that a special prosecutor by the name of Mrs. Ramsey Dallum has been appointed. So later that afternoon, she called me and we had a long discussion. And I am just overwhelmed and blessed and so thankful because after she and I hung up, it was like a burden had been lifted. And I knew that all of these years, and I mean, the last couple of months, especially since July the 29th, I have just been relentless. I will send emails after email after email, just wanting explanations.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please just give me one answer today? And I get nothing. I get nothing. Even when it's about a possibility of where Heather's remains are, or a gun that could possibly have been involved. I get nothing.
So let me ask you, what led to them appointing the special prosecutor to Heather's case? What led up to this?
Well, I would say it started a week after Marty Dill's death. A week after Marty Dill's death, people kept telling me Marty was bald. Marty was bald. Marty wasn't the one who did this. And it's been a process of, okay, Dill's appearance and the call that the eyewitness made. Those were the two things that I kept going to the state police over. We want to hear the call that the witness made. Marty Dill was bald. Marty Dill was bald. And it's just progressed through the years to that now with having the Kentucky State Police's files and the FBI's files. I know now that Kentucky State Police knew on day 4 that Marty Deal was indeed not the
But
man that the eyewitness described.
okay, but somebody went forward and they said, you know, a lady came forward not too long ago and gave them a statement. And you said she was related to the state's attorney, or she was related to.
Yes, but that didn't have anything to do with the
Okay.
special prosecutor being appointed. I thought it was, but
Okay.
that's a totally separate issue.
Got you. Okay.
This comes from years and years and years of
The emails that you were sending.
Marty Deal's face as a sketch, and
Okay.
now and even in 2003 and 2004 when Chris Bellow became a suspect, the eyewitness picked him out of a lineup 3 times, but still maintained that Marty Deal did this. Bottom line is, at 2 months, Lieutenant David Osborne told me to take Heather's pictures down, go on with your life. Marty Deal abducted Heather. Marty Deal killed Heather. Marty Deal killed himself and took his secrets to his grave. And at 2 months, see, that they had already put in their investigative report that the suicide note said something that it did not say. But
so did you ever see a suicide note? Did they ever share this note?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and it's not what they said is written in their own investigative report. See, that's what's happened year after year after year. Different things have come up that's contradictory from what they say for what's in their own files.
Okay,
I only got their files about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so now we have the special prosecutor. What exactly is she reviewing? Has she spoken to you about what they're looking at, or what? Has she said anything to you at all?
No, all I know is before we hung up, she said, "Miss Teague, you need to file a formal complaint with the Department of Criminal Investigation, the Public Corruption Department." So before the day was over, I tried my best to fill out the form, and it's hard to put 28 years into the little form. So I sent her a message and asked her, is there anything else I needed to send? Because Mr. McKee said he had already sent her everything I had sent him. And then I had a packet that I had sent to the U.S. Attorney, to the FBI, the state police, Mr. McKee, and the Department of Criminal Investigation. So I resent the packet, probably 30, 40 pages, to the Department of Criminal Investigation. So I had that done before the day was over.
Okay, we got that. So Chris, you dated Heather. When did you and Heather date?
I don't remember exactly how long it was before we split up. I can confidently say it was less than a month before she disappeared. Does that sound right to you, Sarah?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. And we were living together in Poole, Kentucky, and she asked me to leave, and I did. And it always seemed to me that if somebody disappears, it just seems that the scorned ex-boyfriend would be the first person they would come find.
So you split
They
up
never
a
talked to
month.
you, did they? Did they ever come talk to you, Chris?
Nobody ever came and talked to me.
I didn't think so.
Nobody questioned me. Nobody called.
No. Because it was Marty Deal.
Okay, so Chris, let me ask you a question. So when Heather disappeared, she was dating someone else then, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, and this is the man, Sarah, that you said that was a drug dealer?
Yes, she wasn't really dating him. The whole relationship, our life at that time was absolutely a mess. I had just gotten back from Georgia, going through a horrible divorce. Met this one man who I thought was just this big old teddy bear, and he ended up being a monster, an absolute monster. But I
Got
don't
you.
want to get into any of that.
Yeah, we're
tonight.
not going to get into that. But Chris, let me ask you, how long were you and Heather together?
Well, we dated a couple of times we had a couple dates in high school, but I mean, as far as the last stint together, oh, good gracious, 6 months?
6 months. So at that time when she was dating you within that last 6 month period, was Heather doing drugs at that time?
Sarah, can I speak openly?
Yes, we all were, weren't we?
Yeah, every day. I mean, I was too.
Well, I wasn't every day.
I was.
Okay. So when you heard about Heather's disappearance, Chris, what did you think?
I didn't have any direct involvement much with Heather other than passing her at work because we also worked together. But
Okay.
I heard through the grapevine that that she was kind of running around with some heavy hitters, and my first impression was that either she had angered someone um, and and paid the price for that, or I thought if anybody in the world was smart enough to stage a disappearance and get away with it, it would be Heather. So those were my two
Absolutely,
thoughts.
Chris. That's still
Okay.
a possibility.
Now, Lori, I'm going to ask you because we have spoken several times about Chris Bellow. When I read the description and when I saw the sketch, okay, we were
Did you
looking.
see
I
that,
saw
Lori?
Mhm.
Lori. Are you
Yeah.
able to see it? Okay.
Yes.
So when we were talking about Marty Deal, we had a picture of Marty. His hair was cut off, and then Sarah brought up the name Chris Bellow. I'm like, well, who is Chris Bellow? So I go and take a look, and I find Chris Bellow. Chris Bellow looks just like that sketch
Sure
that was
does.
shown. So my thing to Sarah was, I said, this man to me is the person that Tim Walthall described that grabbed Heather off the beach. So you dated Chris Bellow. And before we get to that, now Chris Bellow was living in, let me see, Chris Bellow was living in Olmsted. Is that what
No,
it was?
in Reed. In Reed.
In Reed, Ohio.
Right there on the beach. Yes, his mother lived right there on the beach.
No, but I'm talking about when this woman went missing. It's okay. Yeah, he was in Reed. His mother lived on a beach, but where he was living at recently,
He was living in Akron, Ohio.
Akron, Ohio. A 46-year-old woman went missing. Deborah Wooten.
He went to pet grooming school in North Olmsted. The week he was there, this woman came up missing.
So he was there the week she went missing.
Yes. After we found out who he was, we thought, you know what? Let's look and see if anybody's missing in North Olmsted. And there was a 46-year-old woman.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. How long did you date him?
3 months.
And what happened that you guys broke up?
I started getting suspicious that he was hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to my daughter, Erica.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
Erica.
he's got a family. Something's going on. This guy's got a curfew. Like, he acts weird. He doesn't stay the night. Like, something's not right. So she Googled him. And imagine my shock.
We thought he was married. I originally Googled him because I was thinking that I would find some type of court docket, marriage license, something like that. We thought that he was hiding something. And to my surprise, a bunch of serial killer articles pop up on the page. And I'm like scrolling past them because I'm like, there's no way that Chris is a serial killer. That's just insane. So after a while of scrolling, I just decided to click on it and start reading it. And the description was very eerily similar. Piercing blue eyes, charming Southern accent. And I'm talking to my mom like, this kind of sounds like him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still like, there's no way. So I keep scrolling all the way down, and his picture pops up from the trial.
Yes.
And my stomach dropped. Right then, I knew it was him. I still sent her the photo anyways, just to double check. And it went quiet for a while, the phone call. And
so you saw where he murdered his ex-girlfriend.
yeah, we had no idea that he didn't even tell her that he did prison time, that he's ever been to jail.
I had no idea. I didn't even know he ever was in jail.
So how did he treat you, Lori, though? How did he treat you?
Like a Southern gentleman. But there was weird quirks that make sense now that I didn't notice.
So
He was a little
when
strange.
you broke,
It's very weird.
how did you end the relationship?
It took weeks.
You kind of didn't.
We had to
kinda
like,
just
he
disappeared.
kind of disappeared.
Because
I kind of pulled back a little bit.
Okay.
And he quit coming in. I met him at the gas station I worked at, is how I met him.
Okay.
And he just all of a sudden quit coming in, quit texting me. So he kind of ghosted me. So I was like, peace.
We
Got
were-
out of
Okay,
that
but
one.
he
we were
ghosted
trying
you.
to
Did
be
you?
careful.
But did
Sorry.
you think that maybe he had an inkling that you found out who he was?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, we have somebody named Stavolia Green.
I don't know.
I think that's from your Facebook group.
It's
That's
probably
not
someone
anybody
who's
I
trying
know.
to watch.
It is. It's my friend Bonnie.
Okay, could you send her the link to go
There's
into the chat,
Just like
please? I see you.
black.
She's sending you a link.
I'll get it right next time, Heidi. We didn't have this last time. We didn't have anybody calling in last time, so this is all new for me.
Yeah, because
No,
you
I
never
just-
gave anybody the link. So
You can look it up and press it. We shared the wrong link. It's a
yeah,
Facebook
just share the
post.
right link.
was
There's a
on
lot
the-
of people interested in this.
Yeah, just share the right link on the Facebook thing. That's fine. But because I see them when they're popping up. And that's why I asked, and I'm glad we brought Chris up because when she said, oh, that was Heather's ex-boyfriend. So let me ask you, when he started pulling away, do you think that he had a feeling that you found out who he was or that you were looking into him?
Yes, I think so. Because it was sudden. It was pretty sudden.
He started acting even more strange after we found out, or maybe we just didn't notice it until then.
Mhm.
We did a lot of serious investigating. Like we spent
So
a
what else
really
did you
long
find,
time.
Erica? Come on.
Oh,
What else did you find?
On his house. We went to his house.
We found
Wait a
his
minute, you
house.
went to his house
We went
in
to his house. Yeah.
Reed, or where you
okay.
at now?
Well, they staked out his house.
We watched
We
him
staked
for
out his
days.
house for multiple times over the course of several weeks.
Oh my God.
We
What
were
did you
like
see?
detectives. Like actually.
Like I made it a mission. Like we said, we're gonna put this man in prison.
Look,
Like,
Erica, they're
well-
saying that you're Erica, they're saying you're wait a minute, crazy cat mama say Erica is my kind of girl. They're all saying welcome to you guys. Oh my God, they're all saying welcome to you guys. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't go through the list. I normally say hi, but I was eager to start this. I am so sorry. Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe, and keep coming back. Okay. So, Erica, so tell me about these stakeouts that you were doing. I'm excited.
we should
Tell me about the
Yeah,
stakeouts.
we should probably
From
start
the
how we
top.
figured it out. Yeah.
Okay.
At first,
Okay, start from the top.
what was the first thing we did? Follow him to work.
Yeah, we literally, because we actually all three worked at that gas station together.
We did.
And the day we found out who he was, we were on shift together. My mom was at home. So we figured this out and we made it a mission to figure out where he lived, who he lived with, what he was doing at that house, because we knew he didn't live far. So we made it a mission to figure it out. And he had 2 jobs. So he worked at the PetSmart as a pet groomer or something. And then he worked as like a shuttle service at a hotel, which is crazy to me. But we tried to figure out which job he was working. So we showed up at the PetSmart. His car wasn't there. So we showed up at the hotel down the street. His car was there. We got his license plate number. And I don't want to say how we got the address, but we linked his license plate number with the address, and we showed up.
We had some friends.
And we showed up to his house, and we
And
staked it out for days.
that kind of was the beginning of the stakeouts. We spent a lot of hours in the car, in different cars, watching his house. There were some very odd things that we noticed at first, like he parks his car, the passenger side door, he always parks it up against the wall, like parks the car all the way against the wall, all the back, all the way. I thought that was odd, but whatever. But then my mom told me that he's very strange about his car. Like he always keeps rubber gloves in the glove box. He always keeps newspapers.
No, that's not why he's keeping rubber gloves in the glove box. I don't think that's why at all.
Went and vacuumed his car out almost every single day, which we all thought was really weird.
The weirdest part was lining the back in the seats with newspaper.
Like,
wait a minute.
Line them up with newspaper.
Wait a
And
minute.
The kicker is the passenger side door did not work. You could not use the window. You could not use the doors. All the doors were child locked except for his driver door.
Okay, this is not good. Okay, wait a minute.
Sounds like Ted Bundy, doesn't it?
Yes,
yeah,
wait a
right.
minute.
That's exactly what we said.
Wait a minute. He lines the back seat, like opens the newspaper and just lines the back seat. Chris, did you know Chris Bellow?
It was like that when they went and
when we found the license
hotel.
plate,
And he had a stack of them like this big
in the
trunk
too. Yeah.
But why was he lining the seat though?
You tell me.
No DNA.
That's a good question.
No DNA that way.
Also, when we peeked in his car, I saw he was filling out papers to get his CDL back. He wanted to get his truck driver's license back.
He was working to do that.
And I saw the paperwork sitting on the seat of his car when we were spying.
Wait a minute, you got close enough so you can
we
look in
we
his
tried
car?
to open the car. We tried to get into it. We were determined.
Don't incriminate.
Once you guys scared he was going to catch you?
Yes, we were.
We were terrified.
We thought there's a very big chance that he could kill our mom. So we're going to do everything that we can.
He could have killed you too, snooping around his house.
Yep. Oh, we even walked up to the house physically.
We did a lot. Probably not.
Did you see any strange going on?
It was crazy, but I'm like determined to put this in prison.
Okay, so one night we staked out until probably about 4 a.m, and his car was home, but we didn't think that anybody was home. We couldn't see anybody in the windows or anything like that. So when we finally see him pull in, he's in his roommate's truck. He had taken his roommate's truck, and I thought that was really weird. And he came in immediately and
like 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what time did he get off from the hotel?
Well,
about 11 p.m. And he worked real early at PetSmart. So that was always his excuse that, he had to be home by 10. Well, he had to be home.
Are there any people missing? Look, are there any people missing in the area from where you guys are?
In our direct area, no.
Not that we found that can link that. He wasn't dumb.
At least not that we could connect the dots to. I don't think he wanted to do anything too close to home.
So he's in North Carolina, that's missing.
It's literally where he worked and we worked is one city away from where he killed Catherine Fetzer.
Oh, wow.
It's one city away. It's 4 miles up the road. So
let
he
me ask
wasn't
you
going to do anything in that area.
No.
So let me ask you a question. The lady that's missing from North Olmsted, did anybody call the police and give them Chris Bellow's information?
I did. I tried to reach Detective Scott. When I called the Medina County Sheriff's Office, they told me that he's been retired for some time and they can't put me in contact with him. And they kind of weren't willing to step in unless something happened.
But the lady is missing. She's been missing now for how long? For what? 2 years. 2 years. She's been missing
July
for 2 years.
2022. Mm-hmm.
2 years, almost 2 years. And
she left suicide notes in her hotel room. She was homeless.
Who are you leaving notes to? Doesn't make sense.
Why would a homeless woman leave a suicide note in a hotel room? They've never found her. How far could she go? She was homeless. Why wouldn't she
Well,
offer
she's
something in a
homeless.
hotel room? Doesn't make sense.
If she's homeless, she was in a hotel room, so she had somewhere to stay, and she left a suicide note, but they never found the body or never
Nope.
found her.
Nope.
Now, Lori, which one of your girls called Stephanie Sylvie, the news reporter, to express to her
The girl
the
Lindsay
concerns?
that came in, that was trying to come in, she's the one that called. That's my
Okay.
oldest daughter's friend.
This is very important because when I heard this from Stephanie Sylvie, I contacted the state police. This was over 2 summers ago. And I
Yep.
told them there's a girl resembling, could be the short, dark hair, just like Heather. And Chris Bellow is wanting her to go out of town with them. And she was concerned for her safety. So the state police had this information as soon as this happened, because Stephanie let me know that somebody had contacted her because he was wanting, the way I understood it now, he was wanting her to go out of town with him. And then she had discovered who he was, right?
That's
Is that
me.
the way it
That
happened?
was me. Because we were going to a concert
Okay.
in Cleveland.
Not
Oh
only
my God.
that, I don't think that
Cleveland,
he did
Ohio?
anything- Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God,
I don't
another
think he
Ohio
did
thing.
anything.
Okay.
I think that he didn't do anything because of the fact that we were so up my mom's ass, so to speak.
I think because you guys were close, you knew he was dating her. Maybe that's why. Chris, did you know Chris Bellow or anything about him?
I did not.
Did
You
you
know
know
Chris-
Marty Deal?
I think I met him once, but I didn't know him.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to figure out.
I got short notice about this, and I've got to pick up my kid from an
Go
event.
ahead. Thank you for coming up.
Unfortunately, I'm
That
gonna
Thanks,
have to go.
Chris.
Thank
We'll
you for
talk
coming
later.
up, Chris. We really
Sarah knows
appreciate
how to
it.
get a hold of me.
Yes, I'll get a hold of you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So
you know, Heidi, the most important thing about this is that Tim Wathall, the eyewitness, picked Chris Bellow from a lineup not once, not twice, but 3 different times in front of Detective Scott Thomas, the one that you're talking about, in 2004. It was a photographic lineup where, as I understand it, the face was covered, and, well, we all know the body.
it looks like I have Aubrey backstage. Who's
Yes,
Aubrey?
that's the body. Identical to Chris Bellow.
Does anybody know Aubrey?
I don't know an Aubrey.
Okay. Aubrey, hold on a second. Hi, Aubrey. I know that you think you're in the chat, but if you look at the private chat, Aubrey, you're going to see that second link that says www.youtube.com/C click that link, and that's going to take you into the chat. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's on the Facebook page, so everybody's coming back.
Yeah, I did not know that link was not right. Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. But yeah, so let me just kick. So Lori, Erica, Allie, do you think there's a possibility that Chris Bellow is the person that took Heather off that beach?
There's no doubt in my mind.
I would
100%. He did it. There's no doubt.
After reading all that I've read, the articles that I've read, there's a really good blog called The Dark Secrets of Chris Bellow. That covers a lot. All the different girls that he's connected to. That took a little more research, but I think we counted 12 disappearances that he's connected to.
I think there's more.
Wait a minute. 12 disappearances. And no one has tied across how many states?
It's hard to say he was a truck driver, but they all disappeared
the thing is, he's been a suspect ever since 2004 when Detective Thomas came in and see, that's when the DNA was found after 10 years, still sitting at post 16.
His
But
body
he-
still
FBI
looks like that. I mean,
I'm not-
honestly,
okay.
his body still looks like that. Do they have his hands funny? When he stood, he did this with his
This
hands.
one
I don't know
at
how to
the
explain
bottom
it.
left is like
it's a genetic
scary,
quirk.
but that looks
There's a
just
there's
like
a
him.
name for it. I
It
don't
looks
know.
like a picture of him.
But see,
His
the face
torso
would have
was
been
like
Chris
that.
Bellow too, had the state police not used Marty Dill's 94 driver's license.
Okay, so but Chris Bellow is attached to
This
12
one
girls
scary.
across different states, not including Heather, that disappeared, and they haven't been found. Is that correct?
Correct. And they all match up with his truck routes.
And wait a minute, has anybody contacted the authorities and to give them his name? Because he
Yes.
could be a serial
That's
killer.
where we got the
Yes.
information. When you Google him, all of that comes up. He's suspected in all of
Yeah,
those. It's
it's-
like 14 women just that they suspect him of that. There's more. Like, I think he did a lot more.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. These are just
He's been a
pieces that people
suspect
put
ever
together.
since, well, when Scott Thomas came in from Medina, Ohio, and you got the eyewitness picking him out of a lineup, and state police did nothing simply because it's Marty Dill. At 2 months, they told me Marty Dill did it. Go on with your life. And yes, Cicely, they did go to the prison to talk to him. Actually, when he was in the courtroom, Scott Thomas said, "Listen, man, just give the Teague family some peace and tell where Heather is." And he said, "Oh, I see what you mean." He wouldn't say anything, but we've
Yeah.
got Heather's bathing suit bottoms that weren't sent off for 27 years. Now we know they're probably ruined because the state police knew without a doubt if the touch DNA was on Heather's bathing suit bottoms, it was not going to be Marty Dill. I have sent the lady in Florida and the lady also at the Kentucky lab Chris Bellow's information, because since he was in prison, his DNA is in CODIS.
Yep.
It will be really, but now, it appears from the state police's emails stating that the FBI told them that after 11 months, after 27 years, but after them being sent off for 11 months, testing had already started, but the FBI had told the state police that the Florida lab would ruin the evidence.
Yep.
So how convenient is that? They knew it wasn't going to be Marty Dill's DNA. They knew.
So Catherine Fitzer, that name popped up. Now, she was married, but she was seeing Chris Bellow as well, and then she disappeared.
Yeah,
That's the
they were
one he
both
was
having an
convicted
affair.
for killing.
When she
He
broke it
killed
off
her.
with him, he killed her.
I think the reason that we didn't really keep trying to contact any authorities is because she was still with him at the time, and we were trying not to let him know that we knew.
Because for like weeks, we had to pretend we didn't know. Like he would still come into the gas station where we worked, and like we had to act like we didn't know anything. And that was probably the hardest act we all had to put on. I will never forget when he came to pick her up for that concert, the panic attack that I had, just knowing that she was leaving with him. I mean, he's met my daughter. He knew where we lived. I mean, it was horrifying. Like it really was.
Yeah, he had met our children.
So
Like my daughter called him
Smith,
Papa Chris.
okay,
Yeah.
so Mr. Smith in the chat, 5.56 media. Chris Bellow seems to be where 12 different women have disappeared, and he was living in Ohio. He was in Ohio the same week that one woman went missing, and she supposedly left a suicide note in a hotel because she was homeless, but no one found her. Now they said she left her psychotic medications, her belongings, and a suspicious note that can possibly indicate suicide. But why would she leave the hotel or the motel to commit suicide when she can do it right there?
Exactly. It doesn't
Absolutely.
make sense. And they would have found her body. How far could she go?
To
On foot.
crazy cat mama. He has been out of prison for 2 to 3 years, I believe.
Yeah, he's been out of prison
Since
since
November of
13th
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to get his CDL license back. So you ladies
Well-
really believe that this man is a serial killer?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
alleged.
That's not out of my
Alleged.
mind.
Yes, allegedly. Yeah, all the research we did.
Oh my God. Look. He said detectives 5.6,
Yes, we tried to
5.56
hold him.
media.
Scott
tried
Thomas.
to call
he's
him.
retired.
I've been trying to get a hold of him. I
He's
couldn't
retired.
I couldn't find him anywhere to try to get a hold of him.
We tried.
I have
really
a connection to him with Detective Brett Melton. He and I didn't. I haven't sent him this information yet, but I will, because they were absolutely sure that Chris Bellow was involved. And
He said he was on him. Look what he said.
yeah, well, exactly. That they came
The
to
only
Kentucky.
reason
They
the
came
only
to
reason he
Kentucky
wasn't
to
arrested.
tell. They came to Kentucky to tell Post 16 that Chris Bellow was probably the one, and that's where this picture came from. But state police did
Yes,
nothing
Scott
because
Thomas
Marty
is
Dill was
retired.
their man.
Lindsay said she tried to get in contact with the detective. They don't have his. Well, he's retired now. So 5.5 meeting. He's an ex-officer, and he is quite familiar with this. Look at this.
He was very,
said-
very dedicated to catching him.
State police stopped every move they made, but the good thing that came out of Detective Thomas's visit was that the DNA that the FBI had given to state police was discovered. Actually, Detective Thomas found it. He found in the state police's files that the evidence from the Bronco that the FBI had given to state police on September the 2nd of 95, the day after Dill's death, had been sitting there for 10 years. And then
Wait a
they
minute,
leave
they
Hunter's
didn't
bathing
have-
suit bottom another 17 years.
Okay, here's another killer. Okay, now this is another killer. So I covered the other day. I covered the cross country killer, and they called him the Casanova killer as well, Glenn. And they didn't go to pick him up in, what was it, LA, because they didn't have the resources to do it, which led to 4 other murders. So you mean to tell me that Ohio, no, that they didn't send anyone to Ohio because they didn't have the resources?
They
So
absolutely
they're letting
did.
the killer go
They
free.
sent Tim Walthall to Ohio, the eyewitness. That's where he picked Chris Bellow from the lineup. Tim Walthall went to Ohio. Absolutely, he did. But you know what? The state police, as soon as Tim Walthall picked Chris Bellow's body from a lineup and they uncovered the face and saw it was Chris Bellow and not Marty Dill, they maintained, and Scott Thomas was very upset about that.
So let me get this right. So, oh my God. So they know this man is potentially responsible for this woman's death. We have his truck route. Well, you ladies with your detective skills have his truck route that coincides with the disappearance of 12 different women.
I think it might have been 14. I can't
It was
remember
a lot.
if it was 12 or 14, but somewhere in that general area.
And now he's in North Carolina.
Yeah, he
supposedly,
got married.
yeah.
He's just engaged. They aren't.
They were-
according to their Facebook
Thank
page.
you.
Well, they were technically they didn't really break up. He kind of just fell off the map. But from Facebook, I could see the woman posting and tagging him and things on his Facebook that they were going to get married.
So are they
at
still
that point,
together?
we were like,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
At
even
that point,
texted her daughter.
we reached out. Yes, we reached out.
I don't think she believes it.
I don't think the woman believes. If she did, I don't. Maybe she's not in mental
Mrs.
capacity to like understand what's going on. I'm not really sure, but
It didn't do any
She-
good, 5.56, because the Kentucky
I'm
State
gonna drop the
Police are
link in
charge
case
of Heather's
Mr. Smith
case.
wants to come up. Hold on. Let me drop the link. He does take panels sometimes. Mr. Smith, if you want to come up, please come up. But he said, so he knows about Chris Bellow and Detective Thomas. And he was on him. So no one has picked up this case since Detective Thomas retired.
I don't think
Because
so.
they blame Marty Dill, Heidi. They're not going to.
No, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about Heather right now. I'm
Oh,
talking about this woman in Olmsted that disappeared, and this detective was looking at him, and But why couldn't he tie the two together?
No body, no crime.
That's pretty much what it said in all the articles I've read. They can't get him to admit to it, and they can't find a body. So unless he
nothing to link
says I did it,
You might as well tell her about the hog.
Okay, so wait a minute. So
Bring
Heather,
that up.
okay, so Heather disappeared.
I've been
Can't
waiting
find
to talk
Heather.
about this.
Okay, wait
Might
a
as
minute.
well.
So Heather disappeared almost 29 years now. Body's never been found. No one's ever heard from her. This lady in Olmsted has disappeared. Body's never been found. No one's ever heard from her. What do you think he's doing? And I believe that he is
Well,
I've
responsible
got something
for
for you.
Heather.
it was rumored
Okay, I'm listening.
that
I'm listening, Allie.
it was rumored that they would take the bodies to a hog farm, right? I'm not sure if it was Marty Dill who had it or a friend, an acquaintance of theirs. I can't quite remember. But somebody had a hog farm, and it was rumored that that's where they
Close
took
to
the
Marty
bodies.
Dill's property.
So when we were spying on him,
This is
we did
horrifying.
approach the house. I know we shouldn't have done that. Please don't anybody
No,
lecture
we were-
us. We did approach
We
the
could have
house.
touched the house. We were so close. And I remember hearing like this bark, and I'm like, Erica, it was dark. It was like 2 a.m. And like I said, we're right next to his house. Stupid, I know.
We were gonna peep in the windows.
We were getting
Oh my
close.
God.
We were gonna solve this. I'm not kidding.
Well, I was terrified he was
So
going to kill him.
we walk up, and I hear this bark, and I'm like, Erica, there's a dog. And she's like,
I turned
That's-
around
I'm
and I
like,
said,
what's
"That's a pig."
I said, what's wrong with the bark?
His
And-
neighbor, his next door neighbor, over the fence, right out his bedroom window, there is a hog
I'm
in a
telling
big
this
old cage.
big ass hog. I've never ran so fast. I don't think my feet were on the ground.
I never put 2 and 2 together faster. We couldn't have got out of there any faster.
She
I
literally.
can't-
So
the
that was
second
a
she said that's
hog?
pig. I was gone.
on,
I
that
on
was
the
a-
property,
where I was going.
on the property where his bedroom window is. Here's his bedroom window. Here's the hog.
Like he could have pet it from outside his window. It was that close.
Now you tell me, is
Why do
that
you
a
have a hog?
coincidence? And we're talking Akron is like a mini Detroit. You don't have hogs on your property.
Like it's not
in
like
Akron.
where we live isn't like rural. Like there's no like farms close by. Like it
Akron,
was- it's in the
Ohio.
city. Yes.
Akron, Ohio.
Copley
So
is where he lived.
So Sarah was told on several, let me make this right. Was it several occasions or once or twice that Heather was, oh God.
That was one of the first things that we were told. And then of course, about a month ago, some information came to me that pretty much the same thing. I don't believe that the rumor, the person that told this, I don't believe that that's what happened to Heather, but Heather did write. She said, "Do they have a watch on me?" 2 times, magnified, and then Heather
this is
said,
Mr. Smith. Hold on. This is Mr.
Okay.
Smith. Welcome to the, you've been on my panel a long time ago. Welcome, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
How are you?
Yes, ma'am. Greetings, Heidi, everybody. Thank you.
"Nice to meet you."
Oh my God. Tell me what you know about this Chris Bellow situation, please.
Well, Detective Thomas was all over him like flies on you know what. But I will tell you this, Detective Thomas, for my research, he retired in 2011, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 82 to 2011, he worked for Medina, Ohio PD. Then he went on North, I hope I pronounce this right, North Olmsted, Ohio.
Olmsted, yes.
To 2013 and City of Bay Village 2016. He's on LinkedIn, and I can try to send him a message, but because I know he was very, very dedicated.
Please try. Please
stage.
try.
I will try. I will try. There's no guarantee he'll respond to me, but that's
Well, even he was stopped because
Mhm.
when Tim Walthall picked Bellow from a lineup 3 times, he was absolutely flabbergasted, disgusted, whatever the word you might want to use,
Mhm.
because he knew that Chris Bellow was the one that the eyewitness picked out. But for some reason, and we know the reason, Marty Dill was the one who did this. And state police will not budge from that. They're going to now. They have to now, because I have found in their own audio files that they knew on day 4 that Marty Deal didn't even fit that description. Have you
Okay, let
seen
me-
this?
Yes, he saw it. But let
Yep.
me ask.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let me ask a question. Do you think there's a chance that this man, being a truck driver, now he's trying to get his CDL license back? Well, when these two detectives right here, Allie and Erica, went snooping around, but he would cover his back seat in newspaper, and then he would park the passenger side close to the side of the house. You couldn't even open the door, and all the doors were locked except for the driver's side door. You couldn't open or get out the car. What does that say to you?
Well,
Nothing good.
so violent criminals, particularly murderers, killers, have different MOs, modus operandi. They have different
Mhm.
ways that they do things, and they do it for usually personal reasons, and their objective, although it doesn't make sense to most normal people, their objective is also different sometimes. So the MO, how he acts, what he does, like covering the seats in newspaper, like that would be, to me, like if I found other similar incidents where there was a truck with like the seats covered in newspaper, like, okay, you can tie them together, and start using other technology like DNA and things like that. But
Absolutely.
that it's very, to me, I mean, obviously that raises red flags. Who the hell would cover their seats?
Newspaper. Seriously. I was like, wait a minute, what? And they said he had stacks in the house. Now, Lori used to date him, so Lori's back there in the red shirt, but she said he was a perfect gentleman.
Hey,
He was.
Another Ted Bundy.
And that's fine. Exactly. Thank you, Mom. Because that's what they do. Their personality,
Yep.
they project something to draw somebody in. It's
Oh my
like
God.
for them, it's
Absolutely.
like for them, it's psychological fishing, if that makes sense.
I do.
So
Yeah. Now, Melissa is asking, didn't you guys find a knife during your
Yes.
investigation? Y'all better stop
Yes.
investigating. Y'all.
No, it was bad. We took a picture of it. I don't know if
Where'd you
it'll.
find the knife?
Oh, look, she
across
got a
the street
picture
from
of the
his
knife.
house. Yeah,
Where
we've
did
got
you find the
everything. I don't
knife?
know if you can see it though.
You can
I
barely
see it.
There is a knife. Yes,
I
we
see it.
found
Oh
this
my
in the
God.
woods,
Where?
a couple feet from his house.
What?
There was it was like a sewer hole, but it was like huge. Like we could stand up in it. So of course it's going for miles. We go in there. We go into
Okay.
it.
We only went in there because we smelled like a decaying body.
It literally smelled like a dead body. Like if you've ever smelled
kids
a
are
dead
nuts.
body,
Like,
or
honest to God.
smelled a dead animal, you know it's like very, like we
Pungent.
could smell it from his house.
You can't mistake
Yes.
We
the smell.
follow the smell, and then we're walking through. We see this knife right on the opening of the sewer thing. So of course we go in, just me and her, no weapons, nothing. We're inside of this hole. We didn't find anything because I got too scared to go any further because it was getting really dark and long. And I'm like, Erica,
She made me leave.
I
She wouldn't
can't
let us
do
go all
this.
the way through, but I swore we were going to find something in there.
Did y'all call the
I know where I
police?
want to go back, honestly.
You didn't call the police after
You
you
didn't
thought
call
you
the
smelled a
police
dead
to
body?
report the smell or anything?
We were terrified. Absolutely
Because she
terrified.
was still dating him at this time, so I think we all were just scared because he knew where we lived, he knew where we all worked, he knew where my kids slept. It was just honestly just we were like walking on eggshells trying to pretend like we didn't know.
Laura, you're very
yeah.
blessed. You're
So
very blessed
until-
that you're alive today.
We
No,
weren't
'cause-
going to contact the police until we had some solid proof of something, because they had already brushed us off
Yeah.
once.
Well, you know what? This is all in God's perfect timing, because I hope and pray that he hasn't killed again. But bottom line is, he should have been stopped in 2004 when Tim Wathall picked him out of that lineup 3 times.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, you have a question, and please, this is not trying to be disrespectful. She says, I hate to ask this of Sarah, but what if Chris admits to your daughter to her murder and feeding her to the hogs? Would that be enough to bring closure along with the conviction for him?
First of all, I hate the word closure. That doesn't pertain to missing your baby. I cannot stand that word. Secondly, I have been, ever since I got the lead or the rumor, whatever it was, about the buckets, and along with Heather's writings, Heather wrote, "Do they have a watch on me?" 2 times, meaning that did she know she was being watched? And then she writes, "Which shoulder do I look over, dear Watson? How high to jump?" And then she says, "No body to compare to." My Heather wrote that. And you know, Heidi, of all the prophetic writings she and I have shared.
So
The only way I know to answer that is I know this is all in God's perfect timing. And while the state police were scheming and scamming and hiding and manipulating and creating, I was writing on lavender ribbons, and so were my babies and my grandbabies. Heather's coming home, Matthew 10:26. And that verse says there will be nothing hidden that won't be revealed and nothing covered that won't be uncovered. So our family will deal with that when the time comes.
So, Mr. Smith, let me ask you, in your profession or your ex-profession, what is your feeling about this case and what you've heard? Because you've been in here when I've had Sarah up, and now you're hearing Erica and Allie and Lori speak about Chris Bellow. What is your take on this?
I'm gonna have to watch from the beginning because I missed, I guess, a lot of it. But I'm interested in what the 3 of them have done. I heard a very short bit of what they've done. I think they kind of drive around in a van, like labeled Mr. Machine, like Scooby-Doo. But which is cool. Which is actually that's absolutely awesome, because that's how police get law enforcement gets a lot of leads, is by people like you doing these good things to like, hey, we want to provide some information. So keep driving that old van. And
it's like something we've become obsessed with, because we just like, I know that he did it, and I know that if he had the opportunity to, he would have killed my mother too. I know he would have.
I do want to, however, thank the police that did help us
get
some information. They couldn't do really anything else, but they kind of went off the record and helped us a little bit. So
But
I was
Mr.
really
Smith-
thankful for that.
yeah, you'll find a lot of especially criminal investigators, detectives that will go off the record and say, hey, we're looking at this type of situation or this type of thing. But you remember, they have to be careful to give out. They can't give out too much information that could jeopardize a court proceeding should they be able to file charges and things like that. So
what intrigued me the most was when they said that they tracked his truck route.
mm-hmm.
And on that truck route, between 12 and 14 women disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not uncommon. If you look at the history of some of the serial killers that have been out there, there are truck drivers that have been caught and
yes, the I-10 killer
of doing this. Yeah, there's quite a few out there. What you're rarely going to find is 2 serial killers working together. That just doesn't, because they're all about control and things like that. So it's very rare. It has happened, but usually one ends up killing the other, because
like what happened with that, what was it, the Asian or the Chinese guy, and I forgot their names.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were two white guys in California too, in the hills, that were doing that stuff, and then they had too much of a conflict with control. But anyway, the point is, yeah, there have been enough documentation of truckers that have been serial killers, and they will go to, there have been in Delaware where I worked, and all over the place, but like they're out.
Okay, so you were here the first time that we actually showed the sketch of Chris Bellow and Marty Deal. With the sketch that was shown, and when I pulled up Chris Bellow's picture, I have a gut feeling that Chris Bellow is tied in with Heather's case. And that's when I first saw his picture, I was like, that's the guy that's in that sketch.
See, that's all Tim Walthall could really see was the body. And had the Bronco not been filmed on the beach, see, that they didn't have even a suspect until day 4. and after the film of the Bronco was seen by the Kentucky State Police.
Right.
And at that point, Heather had just disappeared on their watch. So
Right.
they hit the jackpot, because when they pulled up Marty Dills, he had been the only suspect in the rape a year before. And he had this bushy hair and bushy beard. So there you go. They took his 94 driver's license, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can't tell where I'm pointing. Mm-hmm. That's his driver's license.
No,
and
that's
they
him.
drew the face. And it's
That's
absolutely identical.
Yeah, that's him.
I don't
And
understand.
I've been going to them since
conclusion
a week after
that the guy
Marty's
was wearing
death.
the wig.
And they've
Instead
denied
of people
this
just losing
all
out.
these years.
Yeah.
It was Chris Bellow.
So the problem is, based upon the time that this happened and where we are now, technology and investigative technology was not where
it is now. Yeah.
However, like you just showed those two pictures, I can tell you, I'm looking at it over the internet on like YouTube StreamYard. And I'm like, yeah, that's the same guy. I can like that's the same guy. And I saw the picture of like the shorts and stuff, and before. I mean, to me, that's the same guy. The problem is picking him out in a photo lineup. So there's legalities regarding that. If there's witnesses, like somebody that saw, right, because somebody saw him like in the area and kind of like gave a description that to this day, like if I tried to say, okay, and just show that one picture, I'm like, was that him? They would say that's inadmissible. I would have to do an actual photo lineup of like using at least 6 different photographs that were included and say, I'm not saying the person that did this is in these photos, but if you recognize anyone, and it's turned over so they can't see him yet, the pictures are turned over. If you recognize anybody in these photos that you've seen, point to it and take your time. And then I flip it over, and I cannot lead them. I cannot say, well, does this look like him, or does this look like him or her or whoever, whatever the case is. And then if they point to it, I can say, okay. And I will have them circle it, and then they'll initial it, date it, and time it. And that's submitted into evidence, and that's a proper photo lineup, right? But I can't just show that one individual picture. And there's court cases that created that situation, because it used to be we could just go, is this a guy or is this a girl? Whatever. And they'd be like, yep, can't do that anymore.
You got to do a whole lineup.
Yep.
And they have to look similar. I mean, they can't, they have to be, and they just can't throw, let me throw these 2 white guys here or all white. No, they have to be similar in everything that they're saying. So,
right.
Hi, Mickey. Okay. This may sound crude. Has anybody looked up how long does it take a hog to devour a human?
Yeah, I looked at those. I think we did. We actually did. I think we did.
Oh my God. Why am I not surprised? Why?
No, everything that we could cover, we covered.
If you've ever seen a movie where they're working on a case and they've got all the pictures on the
wall,
that was
us. Seriously.
That was us.
We spent hours every single night. I could drive to
I think you have a future in law enforcement.
I think so too, girls.
Before we found out what the address was, we tried to follow him because he was visiting my mom at the gas station. We waited in a car at a gas pump for him to leave, and we started following him. But then we lost him, but we knew what exit he got off of, so we got off and tried to find what area, because he had sent my mom a photo of fireworks.
This is where it gets good. We use the photo to zoom in and find the street sign.
They've got a career. You girls
are what the street name was, so we just drove around Copley for hours.
Yep, we sure did.
That's good
when
work.
We ended up calling that detective because we were so defeated we could not find this man's house. We parked in a parking lot and we just started calling just numbers off of Google because we are bound and determined. I cannot believe that I was this close to this man. All of us were. My kids,
And you know what's crazy? Didn't he try to get you in a secluded area?
What?
Yeah. Just
he did
on multiple occasions.
It was a sexual thing. It was a sexual thing. His fantasy was to do it in a public place to get caught, but not but not right out in the open.
Like
You
the
had to
woods.
be kind of like, like in the woods.
Yes.
And I feel
Oh,
like
my
he was
goodness.
trying to get me because I never spent any time alone with him where someone didn't know where I was.
I just felt if it was sexual, she wouldn't tell us where she was going. If it was something like that,
Okay.
I assume he would think that's the only chance that he has.
That's a typical action by an offender like that, a violent offender, sexual offender, a serial killer, things like that. They will try to, like, they keep building up and building up and building up, keep try again. And then they're like, the reason why he wants to take you into a secluded area is because it's not so much, well, he doesn't want to be seen, obviously, he doesn't want to be caught, but he's more in control of the situation. He's more in control of the scenario and the area and things. And usually it's a place that he or she has been to before, not the victim, the perpetrator.
The perpetrator, yes.
Right. That has been to before. So they're more familiar with the ins and outs and, what goes on and how much traffic there is there, whether it's vehicular traffic or foot traffic. But it's a control type thing. It comes back to, again, also a lot of these, I'll try to use the right words without cursing because I curse a lot. But
Oh, you can curse. You can go ahead and
Yeah,
curse.
we try to control ourselves as well.
okay, but fucking psychos like that,
We got
That's
you.
exactly what you would call him. Yeah.
they're cowards. They don't like being confronted. So if they're confronted, like if they get caught attacking you or anyone else, and there's like, oh my God, there's someone standing by that tries to intervene, they don't want that because they're cowards. They're afraid. It's all about the control. They have no control over themselves. And
Walk by, so you can put that back on.
you know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know if I told y'all this before, but I think I told you, Heidi, I met Chris Bellow's dad and his stepsister, and they told me, see, because in this picture, I was
We do have
I
something to
was
say about that.
concerned because of the tattoos, and I knew if this sketch was drawn by this, the eyewitness would have seen these tattoos. Well, guess what? His dad said that he knew for a fact that the night of Marty Dill's death, he went to Georgia and got these tattoos. Now, what is it about the tattoos? Something about you saw these tattoos, right,
I didn't see them up close.
Lori?
He had tattoos. Yes.
Oh, okay, but okay, so here's what Lori said. Lori said that she started backing away. I think he started losing interest. Lori, no offense to you, but I think that he realized that he wouldn't be able to get to you or do what he wanted to do
Because
with
of your
you.
kids.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
so
what it was.
he backed away, even though you were backing away because when you found out who he was and you didn't want to alert him. But I think after he had tried for so long, so what was it, 3 months?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he started hunting, and I'm gonna say hunting in other areas.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just
telling
because
you.
he could never get her alone. Because either I was because we worked together. Either I was with her, or obviously they're at a public place. Like if I wasn't there, there's cops coming in there. There's customers coming in there. There was no way to get her there.
No girls allowed.
And see, for him to leave town the very night that Marty Dills was murdered. I mean, I believe Marty Dill was killed. That speaks volumes because at that point, he knew that he had been seen from across the river through a telescope. He knew he had been seen.
And just like he disappeared, he's in and
he
out.
had already seen the sketch.
Yep.
He knew that sketch was him.
Yep. But he's in and out. Think about it. He's in and out. This lady, he was there the week this lady disappeared in Olmsted. He's in and out, in and out. So I really think, and he probably left right after Heather went missing. And when they put that sketch together, he was probably already making plans to leave. He's never come back there, has he?
Not to my knowledge. But for him to get those tattoos that very night, knowing that the sketch had already been drawn of his body without the tattoos, so he tattooed himself. He went straight to Georgia.
I can't for the life of me remember what the tattoo said, though. But if somebody said it, I remember. But I do remember seeing tattoos.
Supposedly, it was something really bad about a woman. The way.
Oh, I remember.
It
It was
was
weird.
that-
He said that it was about women. When you meet women,
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Yes.
ugly,
Yes.
ugly side. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
She had
God,
two
I
faces.
know that.
two
'Cause I-
faces. One side is like a great woman. The other side's
Is
ugly
what she
whore
turns
or
into.
something
Is
like
a
that.
That's
whore,
what
yeah.
she turns into.
Hold on a
That's
second. He said one side is the great woman and the other side is a whore, is what she turns
Is
into.
what she turns into. Yes.
Yep.
He's a killer. I'm sorry.
I knew it
I
was
agree.
something
Killer.
weird.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's right.
He's
So
at
that
it
man's a
again,
psycho.
and the state police have known this since 2005. So
Right.
because
I
they've
forgot
got
about that.
I just can't believe
He's a killer. Let me
that.
ask you. Okay, Erica, there's a question for you. Somebody said
Mm-hmm.
Erica Franklin is your father T.
No.
Okay,
You know how to
no,
do
because they were
this?
asking because they thought they knew you. That's why they were asking the question.
No.
Yeah, but to have a tattoo like that, and normally if you watch all of these all these documentaries and stuff on killers, or if you're watching true crime, there's always they have this love-hate relationship with a woman. It's always going to be the woman's fault.
Like
Always.
your mother, probably.
Yeah, it's always the woman's fault.
Now,
And I'm
he
serious.
supposedly had a box
Damn, I should have kept
like
going to
keepsakes.
I should have
too.
kept going to law school. Seriously, I would have made a damn good attorney.
You should.
But
That's a typical thing that a lot of
Hi, Joe.
these people do. That's a nonverbal communication that they're presenting, saying like, "Hey," and that's also saying it's a combination in this case, like of that tattoo. It's a hatred for women because whatever his experiences were for women, and it's derogatory because he wants to be controlling. Again, it all comes back to controlling, being like, I dictate what you are in my head. I tell you what you're going to be because this is what I've experienced. I'm not going to tell you what I've experienced, but this is why I'm doing this to you. And here, look at it right now. I don't have to tell you, here's my tattoo. So,
And
like
for him to tell you what it means, that's scary. So when were you going to turn into the whore, Lori? Because you're a great woman for a few, and then you flip to being a whore. And that's when he was probably going to snap.
Whatever he said with the Google, that's exactly what he said to me. And when she read that to me, I was like, that's exactly what he said that tattoo was. And like all the color left my face.
There was something.
We found it in one of the articles.
That was in the Akron Beacon, the Beacon Journal from Akron, Ohio. Gina Mace did that story in 2005. She came to my home right in November of 2005 to do a big story about Chris Bellow. Well, she didn't tell me at the time it was about Chris Bellow, but I learned later it was.
So how do you guys move forward? Have you actually contacted these police stations about these missing women and giving them, because you guys have done a great job, and I'm being serious.
Yes,
you have tracked this man across these states with these women that have disappeared, and now he's in North Carolina. Have you, honestly, given this information to someone that can track him and that can try to see or pinpoint
they
him?
have the information. If you Google them, they have the information about all the missing women. There's no bodies. They can't do anything.
A lot of
they think it was him.
A lot of it is already known information. Besides, obviously, the things that we gathered when we were following him around and stuff. Like I said, there is a blog, The Dark Secrets of Chris Bellow. There's 4 parts.
I have it.
There's a lot of information on there.
So did you
a lot of it's
find
circumstantial, and they won't go off of that?
Okay, besides the back seat having newspaper, besides him parking the car so close that you can't open the door and the locks only work on the driver's side.
Anyway, you couldn't open the door at all. That door did not work. The passenger side door and the window did not work.
That's just like Ted
I had to
Bundy.
sit in the back seat when he took me out on a date.
Wait a minute, you had to sit in the back seat?
And then he went in to get a room for the night because we were going out with my sister to a bar and we didn't want to be drinking and driving. And I went to step out because I couldn't roll my window down because he had, taken the keys in to go in. And I went to step out. I couldn't get out of the car. He had the child locks on. Why? You don't have children. Why would you have the child locks on? Couldn't undo the window. Nothing.
Yeah.
Again, Again,
was
he's a
a-
killer,
What was it?
and you were lucky. Look, you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Mr.
had a
Smith,
no-
tell her
no-
how lucky she was.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You are lucky, but you also didn't fall for the controlling part of it, which is probably what kept you alive. So that was very
I
smart.
just think us Googling his name that day probably saved her life because we wouldn't have been onto him. We really just thought he was married because I'm like,
The
this
true
man's
side
gotta
of
have
him was
kids
coming
or
out
something.
the more I met him, because even sexually, there wasn't that many times because he couldn't get it up usually.
Killer.
But he
I'm
was
sorry.
listen, he was very submissive and made me be the dominant one.
Really?
And then it got
Oh
weird.
my God.
The last time I was with him, he pulled my hair, called me a fucking whore, and
He was
I
getting
said,
ready to kill you.
Whoa. No, I'm not into
Thankfully,
this.
I was home that day because I'm sure, like I said, we were always around, or he only had come to our house a couple times. But I feel like if we wouldn't have been there and I didn't know where my mom was, he would have killed her. He just didn't ever have the opportunity to because he would have been caught.
And the thing is, he wouldn't. There was a no girls allowed rule at his house, so my mom couldn't go over there to hang out with him. He came over a couple of times, and the only other time he saw my mom was while she was on the clock at work.
Or when they went to that concert.
Wait a minute. There were no girls allowed.
Yeah,
We weren't allowed at his house, which
No
is why we
one's
thought he
allowed.
was married because we're like, what?
No, but we had looked into it and we found the owner of his house, who is a registered sex offender.
And his name is Andrew Cartier.
Yeah.
His roommate.
I'm
Oh my
concerned
God.
about the
He
smell.
talked so highly of this man.
He
Come
did
to find out,
very highly, and this man was convicted of like a very, very disgusting sex crime against a child. Like, it was very serious.
Hold on a
Child,
second.
not
Andrew,
teenager,
spell his
child.
last name for me. Spell his last name.
C-A-R-T-I-E-R.
T-I-E-R. That's what I thought. Okay, Andrew Cartier, I'm going to look him up. So he is a registered sex offender that served time.
Yes.
And that was his roommate.
So were there
This
any kids
top-notch
missing
roommate
around that
who loved his
area? Look, I'm
This
just going
man
to
would
ask
rub
you.
lotion on his back at night and everything. It was very
What?
weird.
It was
Wait a
weird.
minute. What? He was rubbing
Yeah.
what?
You would.
Lotion on his back.
So wait a minute. Chris had to rub lotion on Andrew's back?
No, Andrew put it on Chris's
Other
back.
way around.
Chris was.
Then I started thinking maybe he's gay. I couldn't figure it
Well,
out.
he is. He's bisexual.
Yeah.
I'm done. Oh my
So
God.
I think that the whole the day that Heather disappeared, I think that him and Marty had planned on maybe assaulting this woman sexually. He was very into threesomes and like very strange sexual things from what I've read. So I think that maybe that was their original plan. Maybe Chris took it too far, and I know that they said Marty shot himself. I'm not sure if I believe that.
I'm not sure if I believe that either, because there were 2 shots and it was in the newspaper. There were 2 shots.
Yep.
You're going to kill
Chris
yourself.
said the
You're not
same
going to
day.
do 2 shots.
Why would he leave that
How
same
would you?
day? It just doesn't make sense.
He should have been stopped in 2004 when he picked when the eyewitness picked him out of the lineup 3 times. He should have been
Yep.
stopped.
So
Should have
Mr.
never been
Smith,
let out of prison after he killed Catherine.
He
I
should have
don't
never
think.
got a deal. He should have never got a plea deal.
nope.
He
At
didn't want
least,
to go to trial.
or why did they even offer a plea deal
They didn't even have
without a body?
That's
He
the
should have
thing.
had to give up where the bodies were. Period.
So they never found Catherine at all.
No.
He wouldn't tell him where she was. He said, I'm
He
not
told
going to
me
tell you.
that he threw her in a dumpster. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he said he threw her in a dumpster and that he shot her
Whoa.
in the head. But it was an apartment complex. Don't you think that
They would hear
if you
it.
shot somebody, that somebody would have heard a gunshot and called the police?
Boom. So all of these women that's been associated with him have disappeared and no one has seen him. Who is Vicky Babbitt?
Oh, that's a friend of mine. Hey, Vicky.
Well, I didn't bring her up because Vicky's backstage.
It's okay. She just wanted to listen.
Oh, okay. So, Mr. Smith, after, because I know you said that you were going to be looking into some of this. Have
I
you
did.
had a chance to look into it?
I did. I went as far as I can go without, because I don't have the actual resources. Being retired, I can't just go to like NCIC. I can't like directly access the databases, the restricted law enforcement databases anymore. And I can't really ask friends because they can get in trouble for
Yeah, because they have to have a reason. Yes.
So I got to do my own Google Warrior stuff, much like the mystery machine over there. I have to do, the footwork. And like I said, the best person, I think, too, based upon my research, is this retired detective Thomas out of Medina, and he's the one that was hardcore onto this guy, like totally dedicated to it. I know KSP, Kentucky State Police, they're not that, I guess you'd say, proactive in the case.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think this guy, this retired detective Thomas, is like the best, because you don't know how many reports and things that weren't made public that he's made. Things.
Yeah, and normally if they retire and if they're working on something, a case, don't they normally take their files with them?
Usually they're considered property of the agency that you work for, or also considered they're subject to FOIA, but also for future legal issues, criminal, civil, whatever. So he can probably make copies and take them. I've done that. But the actual original files, usually you can't pull because there's a retention period, a legal retention period that agencies have to keep original reports on file for a period of time.
Well, that man did all he could. I mean, he came to Kentucky post 16. He found the evidence that had not been sent off. He was adamant. He did everything he could to stop Bellow. He did everything he could. And
so with this, they said that Marty Deal unalived himself using a 22. There are no shell casings with a 22, is there?
Yes, there are.
They're shell casings.
A 22 revolver?
If it's a semi-automatic, yes. If there's a revolver, no.
It's a revolver.
It was a 22 revolver.
Okay, then no. Then they would have been kept with that revolver. They wouldn't have been ejected automatically.
There were 2 shell casings. See, I got the state police's files. I would like for you to look over those. There was a shell casing, 2 shell casings found, and the FBI file states plainly that the bullet retrieved from Deal's skull cannot be proven as coming from that gun. That's what the FBI files state.
Where did they retrieve the shells? If we know
from his head.
No, the shells, not the bullets.
No, the shells, the casings.
The casings in the Deal trailer, in the floor.
But they were from a revolver, you said?
No. All I know is there were shell casings found and a 22 revolver was used. That's all I know. And then I was told that a 22 revolver doesn't eject shell casings.
Correct. You have to manually extract or eject the shell casings from a revolver versus a semi-automatic, which they'll come out on their own when you pull the trigger. It fires around, ejects a shell, loads a new round, fire again, ejects a shell. Type of thing.
They were outside the bathroom, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so Sarah, did he unalive himself in the bathroom or in the living room?
To my knowledge, he was in the bathroom floor when he because the gun was sitting up on the bathroom sink. Now, whether the detective picked the gun up and laid it on the sink, or he supposedly shot himself and laid it on the sink, or where that gun was used at all if we're Ernie Green, the uncle walked right out with the gun that was used to kill Marty Deal. That's my theory. That's what I think.
So I saw the pictures of the bathroom, and let me just ask: if somebody uses a gun to shoot, in the head, wouldn't there be blood on the gun?
It depends on the distance. It also depends on where it hit. So just because somebody is shot does not necessarily mean there's going to be instant blood coming out. Many times there's not. There's actually no bleeding visible right away.
Well, the eyewitness claims that the back of his head was blown away and he saw gray brain matter. And then I found out 4 years later from his mother that there wasn't even an exit wound.
That wasn't an exit wound. I read that. So what brain matter did he see? And we're talking about a 22, which is not that big and it's not going to. How is it going to blow your brains out?
Well, it didn't. It didn't. That's another story that Tim Walthall told, which that's one of many.
So this is crazy. Erica, you guys are muted. Let me ask a question.
Okay.
Okay, y'all were back there laughing. What were you laughing about? Because I'm dying to know. Did y'all think of something else that you didn't tell us? You can tell us what you were laughing about.
What are we? We're just chatting amongst ourselves, I guess.
No, she turned around and said something to her mother, and then her mother went like this, and all three of you started laughing. So anyway,
They were probably laughing. They were probably laughing at me. That's fine. I understand.
Well, they're not
No, it
laughing at
wasn't you.
No,
No, we
have
said my mom
Shaggy.
was going to take 10 smoke breaks, and she already took her first one. So,
Oh yeah. So if she want to smoke back there, she can. So we
I'm
have
concerned
Shaggy.
about the house that y'all went to and smelled that smell.
Me too. That's
That
what I
needs
want
to
know
be
about.
reported to the.
the
He doesn't
house
live
that
there
was
anymore, right?
close to the house.
It was near the house. It was right down the street, just a little ways away, right
Okay,
by where we
something needs to
parked.
be done about that. That there could still be evidence.
But wait a
somebody-
minute. If the
I mean,
neighbors
we
are
could go
smelling,
back.
okay,
We
wait a minute.
live minutes away. We could go back.
I would.
No,
I
no,
would
no,
go
no.
back and
Wait a
No,
minute.
you need to report it.
Okay, how close are the neighbors? Because you said the neighbor had a hog.
The neighbors are very, very.
It's like
close.
the houses were probably maybe 5 feet apart. It was not 10 feet at most, like very close.
They're pretty close together. Like
So wouldn't the neighbors be smelling the same smell that, or maybe they think it's the hog? But you
Right,
said it
right.
Well,
smelled
like I said,
putrid.
it was a little ways down the street.
Yeah, it wasn't
So
at the house. It was just like
Okay.
close enough to where we were like, what's that smell? Because we were sitting, like, we weren't parked in front of his house. You know, we were parked
Of
down the
course
street
not.
in the car. We're like, what does that smell?
yeah.
Could it have
was-
been the
it was
hog,
down the
you
street
think?
where we parked? I'm thinking
Was
he
it a
could have
different
walked down
smell
here.
than the hog?
Yeah, it wasn't like an animal smell. I don't know how to explain it, but it just like didn't. It
It
smelled
was
like
putrid.
rotting
It was
something.
very putrid. It was
Yeah, it was
yeah.
nasty.
I
It
mean-
wasn't trash. Like it was like something. We thought maybe a dead deer, but we didn't find any animals, nothing. And that's when we found the knife, and we were like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, and it was dark. We got a little scared, so we kind of turned back and didn't keep going. But
Well, I think you might want to report that manhole or whatever that damn thing y'all stepped into that smelled that bad. But the guy is still living there. But Chris Bellow is in North Carolina now. He's supposedly engaged. If I was you, I would keep an eye on the woman he's engaged to just in case she disappears.
We've tried to even reach out to her. I just think she has no interest. She's in love with this man. It's crazy.
Don't do that because he still knows where you live at. He may come back.
Well, I don't live there anymore. We're good, but this is
We
crazy.
reached out anonymously.
It wasn't like, oh, hey, this is me, because we didn't want him to know it was us. It was anonymously, but she never even
Okay.
responded.
Okay,
yeah,
so
we
who is he engaged to now?
Yeah, we did do that.
we made a fake profile so that by any chance he got the phone or saw the message or she showed it to him, he wouldn't know who it was sending it to her.
You guys are good.
He had no idea that
Because
we
he knew where we lived. I'm like, I don't want him to know I'm messaging his fiance, because he
Oh,
was in
that's a
between
beautiful
Ohio and
dog.
North Carolina at that point.
And like we
Is that a
explained
dog?
earlier,
Yes,
he
that's a
never
dog.
broke up with her. He never
So he's
broke up with
moved
her.
around at least what? He did live in Akron, Ohio.
Copley, Ohio.
Probably, which is in Akron, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
a suburb of
And
Akron.
the
Okay,
girl.
what's the woman's name in North Carolina? They're asking what's the woman's name in North Carolina. They're gonna
I
want
know
to
her first name is Kim.
Kim Lail,
Flail,
L-A-I-L.
F-L-A-I-L.
L-I what it
L-A-I-L.
L-A-I-L. Kim Lil. I know you detectives in the chat. Y'all gonna be reaching out to her.
Yep, and that's
Yeah.
him in the profile picture too. Yep, they're still together.
And that, oh my gosh, you can't see
You
it.
can't see
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that light. Oh, you ever
And didn't you
okay.
say that
Oh
looks
my
just
gosh,
like Chris
hold on.
Below's mother?
No,
Lori?
that's
Oh, there it is.
his
That's
Oh,
fiance.
there they go.
That's what it's like
Philo
now.
now.
Open the
Huh.
picture.
Okay, so did you
Very
Lori,
charming
it was
looking,
actually-
right?
That's
Yes.
him now.
Oh my God. She looks like you, Lori.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah,
That's what we
she looks
said
just
when they
like
got
his mother.
together.
She looks just like his mother.
She does look like his mother.
Exactly.
So
like
did
his
you
mother.
meet his mother? That was the question. Have you ever met
No.
anybody in his family?
No, I try to find people on Facebook.
His family has pretty much shunned him from the family after what happened with his sister's children of him.
Wait a
being-
minute. What happened with his
Allegedly.
sister's children?
Allegedly, he was molesting his sister's children while he was living with her. And And when he moved out, he left behind a trinket box with women's jewelry. There was a few rings, and there were 5 missing girl posters in the box. And she reported it to
Mr.
police.
Smith, Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith.
Wasn't Heather's
We've
picture
done our homework.
one of them? Heather's
He's a
missing
killer.
poster was in there. I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
they can hear me.
I'm sorry. My pugs came in my office. That's what I had to
Did
silence.
you
my,
hear when Chris Bellow was living with his sister? He allegedly was molesting her kids, and when he moved out, there was a trinket box there with rings and pictures of 5 missing women.
That doesn't surprise me. That's what they do. They collect trophies.
Exactly.
He was like proud
Did
of
the
it.
He had a
sister
second
report
box as
him?
well. He told his sister if anything happens to him, she were to take this box for him. And there was a second box that contained a lock on it that the police were actively looking for that they never found.
Yeah, they take and Mom and Red. I had to tell you. Remember earlier on, you were telling me about you like go to a secluded spot, and we talked about like position of not being like he doesn't have to face anybody because they're cowards, and a position of testing you, like controlling things. That goes back to the same thing, like you were talking about him wanting to be you to be dominant and that type of thing. Then all of a sudden, bam, it's the pulling hair and things. That was also a test to see how far he could go to be controlling. And then he was taking well, for him in his mind, in his fucked up mind, he's taking chances and turning, like say, well, okay, you know what? I tell her to be dominant. Well, now I'm just going to turn around and be violent, right? To see how far he could go. That goes back to the same thing. I wanted to bring that up since you came back.
Yeah.
But
So that was a test. And so when she said it, I thought about the same thing. That was a test to see how far he can take it and what was she going to allow him to do.
But as far as the trinkets and the little, like would you say it was like a jewelry box or some type of box?
Yeah, it's a little
Box.
it was a trinket box, like a jewelry box.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as I'm sure the ladies agree, like that's a very common practice among serial killers, is they take trophies and things like that, whether it be jewelry, clipping a hair, photographs, something.
He wore Catherine's ring for a long time on his pinky.
Yeah, see, because that to him, he's like, yep, see, I'm still in control of her.
You're still in control. So the question is, with the 5 women that were in the box, are these women matching the 12 or 14 that was missing on the truck route?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so blatantly obvious. It's like
one of the girls, Christina Porco, I believe her name is.
Yes.
They could all be Heather's sister. Catherine Fetzer,
no,
the
absolutely.
Porco
They all
lady,
look
they
alike.
had the long dark hair, the green eyes, and short. I remember that.
Christina
I'm
Porco,
sorry, do
Catherine
all
Fetzer,
these women have
Shailene
certain-
Marie Farrell, Heather Teague. Let's see. Mary Kushto. Here's
So Heather Teague's picture was in there?
Yes.
yeah.
She was one of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
What's
So your
similar-
daughter was among those 5 women in that trinket box.
When James Bellow, his dad, came to my
I
home
just named
with
him off.
Melinda, the sister, she had seen the trinket box. She had seen that they came and sat at my kitchen table to tell me that he had left town to get the tattoos, that he, his mother lived right there in Reed, and that he would, they were pretty sure he was involved when they came to me.
What similarities did these women have in common? There had to be something, whether it's physical appearance or somewhere.
They were all short, long dark hair, and green eyes.
Long dark hair.
it was almost like he walked in that gas station, saw her, and was like, yep.
Gotta have her.
That's why I looked at your mom back there and the woman that's in a picture with him now. They look alike.
They do. It's scary.
He's got a
And I don't think her hair was black before, so I feel like she dyed it. I thought it was blonde.
No, it wasn't.
Are you sure?
It was
I
lighter than
swear
that,
her
though.
hair was lighter than black.
Blonde was the daughter, I believe.
Oh yeah.
We contacted her daughter as well, and she also didn't respond.
Because like
Has
she
he-
has kids and like we have kids, so I'm like, I reached out to her first, like anonymously, obviously, because I didn't want him to know it was us. Because like I said, he was still in between Ohio and North Carolina, but no response ever.
So you ladies would know a lot more about this than I would. Obviously, has he ever been married? Did he have a long-term
5
relationship?
times.
Yeah. This is
I'm
his
sorry?
5th marriage.
This will be a 6th. He's been married 5
How-
times.
How many of his wives look like any of the
All of them.
victims?
They all have
That's a
dark
pretty.
hair.
That's a pretty big. That's
The
a
women
pretty
he
big.
dated and the women he married were all heavy set.
Okay.
But the women he attacked were all tiny, petite women because he could
Okay.
manhandle them. I
Okay.
think he got in relationships with heavy women because he knew he couldn't kill them, so he couldn't get caught. Because they're heavy, he couldn't get rid of them himself. So he stayed in relationships with heavy women, knowing he wouldn't kill them. He wasn't going to get caught, so he was killing these tiny women outside of his relationships. That's what I pieced together.
Okay. I mean that could be true, or he felt more comfortable because they didn't represent the threat to him, the woman that he envisioned to be a threat to him. So that's why they were quote unquote safe with him, because he didn't see them as a threat. So if he dated heavier women, but he was targeting, a different type of woman, that different type of woman that he targeted was his threat, was his psychological threat, that the ones that he wanted to be in control of. And that's why I asked, like, what does his mother look like? What did his, wives look
Yeah,
like?
dark
What does
hair.
His
what
mother
does
looked
early
like his
girlfriends
mom,
look
to be
like?
honest.
Things
Yeah,
like
she
that.
had dark hair.
That's
What
pretty common.
happened what happened back in the day that made him target this specific type of female that has these specific type of physical traits?
Now, Sarah said that he was living with his mom. Sarah, there's a question for you too. Here, they dropped by mistake. Okay, they'll come back. Sarah, Michelle wants to know. She said she's emailed you a couple of times.
We don't know what.
I don't know
She
what
wanted
you're
to pass out some flyers. Have you received her emails?
I don't think so. But we don't really need any flyers handed out. I need signatures on this petition I've got started. I want thousands of signatures. Of course, now that the special prosecutors come on board, I don't know if we'll need this or not. But just email me again, and we can talk.
Okay, email her again, Michelle. Okay, so she's already signed the petition. I'm going to put the link back in again for the petition. But so you're saying that now, Sarah, have you ever seen Chris Bellow's mother?
No, I met his dad and the stepsister, and
Okay.
I was told that his mother, had lived right there at Reed. Actually, his address was Crooked Road, Reed, Kentucky.
Okay, so Erica and Allie and Lori says that his mother had dark hair. Was she short and petite?
Remember, it was an old picture. I think she was.
I think she was.
I'm not sure if she was short,
Because
but she didn't.
he
look
wasn't
heavy.
real tall. Maybe 5'9".
So he's actually going about killing his mother, well, allegedly killing his mother over and over and over again. But he was living with his mother. And then when
his uncle
Heather
raised him for
Huh?
after, I don't remember when he ended up living with his uncle, but yeah.
No, but he was living with his mother when
At the
Heather
time, Heather was abducted.
was taken off the beach.
Right.
And then when 4 days later, when Marty Deal, well, 4 days or something, when Marty
That
Deal
was right.
supposedly unalived himself, he disappeared.
He went to Georgia and got the tattoos. They knew exactly where he went. He went to Georgia.
Yeah, so something's wrong with this. But again, Sarah, I'm glad that you have a special prosecutor that's handling this, that's stepping in now. But I really think they need to take a look at Chris Bellow with these women. And I'm the detective. Mr. Smith said, that they can try to reach out on LinkedIn, but I would love to know what's his take on Chris Bellow. I really would, because I think this man is
I'd love to talk to him.
an
We
S
tried.
killer that just has never been caught. But if he had suspicion about him in this Olmsted case, and I'm sure he was looking at other things, not just that Olmsted case, because you're just not going to be laser focused on that. So he knew he was convicted of Catherine's death, never found the body. You've got this woman in Olmsted disappeared, never found the body. You have 12 or
The
14
woman
women
in North
along the truck
Olmsted
route.
just came up missing
Bodies
2
were
years
never
ago.
found.
It's after
what?
he got out of prison. Scott doesn't know anything about this woman. She just disappeared 2 years ago when he got out, when I knew him. He's still
Olmsted.
doing it.
Olmsted.
He's still
Yeah.
doing it. As of
Because
2
there
years
would be
ago. There's no doubt.
times where he would disappear like for hours and never text my mom back or anything. And what was he doing in that time? And I remember this one time
He was killing people.
He went to a work Christmas party and ended up staying. What is it, not a Christmas party? It was some kind of party, and they stayed all night long. It was just weird, because what work party do you stay all night
And then I
long?
couldn't go get him because it'd be rude to the host.
Yeah, it was very. I think he was obsessed with one of the girls he worked with at the PetSmart.
He
Somebody
was.
needs to
Liz
go
was
to
one of them.
to where that hog is and analyze that soil. That they definitely that needs to be done.
So
But how are you going to? But they have no grounds to go
They
analyze
have
the
to get a
soil.
search warrant. Yes, I know.
Okay, and girls, don't you go back there and try to get
No.
the stuff,
Don't.
please, because I'm just like, we got Shaggy.
Find
No,
a
not
tooth,
Shaggy.
you might be able to solve
We
this
have
thing.
Velma, Daphne, and
Scrappy Doo.
no, what's the guy's name? With the blonde hair that thought he was a model.
Why do you keep getting
Fred.
Velma,
Fred,
Fred, yeah, Fred, Velma, and Daphne. Look, we got you right there. So stop going. Don't go back to the house. Don't go back to the house.
hey Heidi, one of your crazy cat mama said something really important in the chat, and
Hold on.
said, "Lord, he might even see this." And the
was
reason
I
why,
didn't tag
thinking
him in
that.
it. I didn't
That-
tag him in it.
yeah, it's crazy cat mama at 8:04 p.m. said, "Lord, he might even see this," and that is damn right, because that's what they do. They constantly insert themselves into investigations. They monitor
Mhm.
investigations just to see what's going on. If
Yeah, if you read
they're-
some of those Reddit things, it sounds like he was involved in that because of some things that, oh, he's a wonderful
Well,
man.
speaking
and
of
stuff.
Reddit, I just came across this screenshot. I talked to, I believe,
Everybody's on Reddit.
a coworker. It was a
What
coworker
is
of
Reddit?
his sister's.
I don't even know what
Mhm.
Reddit is it's like a social media where it's pretty much just threads where you can just discuss different things and
Discuss
somebody
different
posted one
things.
about him.
Yes.
We're having technical difficulties.
Go ahead,
here.
read it for me. No, I still see you.
Okay. She said, I used to work with his sister in my early 20s, and he came in a couple of times. She was convinced that he was responsible for Heather Teague. He was close friends with Marty Dill, who killed himself when the police came to question him. And then she had sent me a message that the sister had died,
Melinda Bass.
but she said his nieces and nephews had nightmares for years after he lived with them. He's not a good person. And that was a coworker of his sister, Melinda, who passed away. So even his sister was sure that he was responsible for her death.
Absolutely. She sat at my kitchen table and told me that she had absolutely no doubt.
Okay, so you guys are not living where he was seeing your mom. So is your mom still in the same house?
My mom is, yes. I never lived there. She has moved out, but my mom still lives there.
Yeah. See, now y'all have me nervous because they watch everything. They search the internet. If a name pops up, and yes, and yeah,
They'll
you're
even,
right.
they'll even go so far as to call law enforcement agencies and news media and things like that, and mostly like law enforcement, or they'll call somebody that has a friend that's a cop or investigator, hey, have you gotten any? Have you ever heard anything like going on with this case, or like what's going on, just to get more information to see how they're doing with getting away with stuff.
Well, he really got away with it with Heather's case because Marty Deal was blamed and framed, and he knew it.
Mm-hmm.
He knew it.
But I asked you, Sarah, if he knew, if Chris Bellow knew Marty Deal. You weren't sure.
I have no idea.
But the sister, the co-worker, just said Marty Deal and Chris Bellow were best friends.
I have, I stood right next door to a girl on Newburgh Beach one day, and she was saying how she graduated with Heather. And I mean, there's been so many stories told. So, you know, I have tried my best to find a connection with Chris Bellow, Marty Deal, Mike Shelton.
But the sister said they were best friends. They had to know each other.
Well, if
they
that's
had
true,
to know each other.
Yes.
And then someone said that, I think it was Lindsay said that he had a red car at the time. Chris Bellow did.
He drove a white postal. No, the red car's already. I know who had the red Chevette. He drove a white postal Jeep, as far as I can tell. I don't know.
He was also known to drive other people's cars.
It would be.
And they said that he was. And they said they were both in drug sectors.
Right.
After Spencer was killed.
Tried to find a connection beyond the third grade. I have their pictures. They were in the first or third grade together.
Well,
I'm hiring. They probably knew each other.
I'm going to hire Velma and Daphne. Fred can drive, but Velma and Daphne, you girls are very impressive. Lori,
I'm done a great job.
Your daughters are very impressive. Job. Allie and Erica, they are protective. They were concerned. And if it wasn't for them, I think you would not be here.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I just think, like you said earlier, he started backing up.
Job. And listen, whoever that person was, I have lost James Bellow's contact information. He just called me about 3 months ago. He's living in Georgia, and I was supposed to mail him some copies of the latest newspaper, and I've lost his contact information. So whoever knows Melinda, of course, you know, Melinda's passed, but if y'all could try to get me James Bellow's.
So why is James Bellow, Chris Bellow's dad, calling you?
He didn't raise Chris. After this happened, he contacted me and Melinda to tell me about the box, about her children being molested, that they thought Chris Bellow was involved. Yes, they came to me to tell me all this.
Did anybody go to KSP with this?
Absolutely. They did nothing because Marty Deal abducted Heather. Marty killed Heather. And Marty wasn't even on the beach that day. I know as of July the 29th. They knew on day 4 Marty Deal wasn't the one who did this. And they've continued this. It doesn't matter if Chris Bellow's out killing other people. It doesn't matter. You know what they've even done about the DNA. Hottie, we'll talk about that, another time. But
yeah, we'll talk. Okay, so if you look, if Erica and Allie can get you James Bellow's information, ladies, can you find James Bellow's information for her?
I'm sure we could. I'm sure that I could.
Yeah. I know he's in Georgia because after his wife died, he went to Georgia and is living with his high school sweetheart. I do know that. I just don't know which part of Georgia.
Okay, so Erica and Allie is going to get you that information, and you'll probably have it before the end of the night.
Can find that.
Look, they'll probably get it to you before the end of the night, and they probably let you know when you have for dinner too.
Y'all are making Blue's Clues jealous now, is what you're
I'm telling you.
We lost sleep over this. I still do. Like, this is like, lately it's been something I'm just like, oh, like this crazy thing happened to my mom. But like, it really is things that have happened to real people. And it's really upsetting that he's not in prison for it.
It's also insane that you guys like came into our lives at this time, because just a few days ago I was
We were just talking about
I
it
just brought
recently
this back
again.
up because I had saw a TikTok about cold cases that it was titled like cold cases that you'll never get over or something like that. And Heather Teague was on there. And so I went back in a deep dive and we kind of started talking about it again. And, you know, we're just
There's
like,
definitely something
should look
about the
back into it.
timing of all of this. There is no
yeah, it's
doubt
crazy.
about it.
We even said
something
from the
about timing.
start, like, that we're going to put this man in prison because there's no reason he should be out. And he didn't even try to hide the fact that he, like, who he was. Like, one Google search and there he was. He didn't try to hide it at all.
He used his real name. That's crazy.
Well, he changed his middle initial.
Now he did, yeah.
No, he goes by his middle name now. Chris.
His dad made the comment that Chris Bellow is Christopher James Bellow, I think, and he said below Christ.
Okay, so his mom is now deceased, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did his mom pass away?
I think so.
I don't know. All I heard
thought you
was
said
she
his
lived
dad
in
was
Reed.
living with
I
his
don't
high
know.
school sweetheart after his mother's after his wife's death. Sarah?
Pardon me?
I thought you said that James was living with his high school sweetheart after his wife died. Isn't that Chris Bellow's mom?
No.
Okay.
No. No, James is the dad, but the mother, no, that wasn't his mother that James was married to. It's a no.
Okay. So does anybody know his mother's name?
I don't.
Not that I
I'm
can
telling you,
remember.
Erica and Allie gonna have all of that information before the end of the night.
We got it somewhere. It's somewhere.
I'm sure
See,
that I
they
have.
already have
Yes,
it. Look,
look.
they already have it. Okay,
Well, when
so
he was at PetSmart, the job he had, they had like a blog between them they were going through, and his daughter popped up out of.
Is that Virginia?
his daughter.
No. Yes, he has a daughter.
Oh, Christina Bellow.
Christina
Was that his daughter
Or
or
was
is
that
that
his
his sister?
That's his sister.
Oh, sister.
You're right.
Virginia was
He does have a
his-
daughter, though, yes.
PetSmart didn't know who he was. They didn't do a background check on him. So they were on a blog, and his daughter pops in out of nowhere and rats him out to all his coworkers. That's why he left the state of Ohio. He got found out.
And what about the time he got pulled over? There was a time where he was sneaking around and, you know, one of his disappearing acts for hours at a time. And he had got pulled over, and he had told my mom about it. He got pulled over and the police swarmed his entire car, guns drawn. But he didn't explain why.
Because he matched the description. His car matched the description of a Mexican drug cartel. I
Yeah.
assure you, in Akron, Ohio, we don't have that.
Yeah, really. In Akron, Ohio. Okay, so in the area he was pulled over yet, have they found any body parts? I'm just asking.
He didn't say specifically where he was pulled over. He just told me he was pulled over, and they scared him to death, guns drawn. But I think he was testing me because I already knew about it by this point. I think that was a kind of a test.
Okay, ladies, you got a recruit here. Look at this. Michelle Williams is a recruit after May 24th. She's good to go. Y'all can do y'all investigation.
We're ready.
We got you, Michelle.
All right, Michelle, come on, girl.
Look. Oh, I know what. Okay, so Mr. Smith is
They need a
Charlie.
Scooby.
Look, so Mr. Smith is going to be Charlie, and you're going to be the angels. And you guys.
There you go.
Charlie's Angels. You guys going to solve this, but I do believe that this man, all jokes aside, this man is a serial killer. I'm sorry, he is.
Oh, there's no
is.
doubt.
You got to understand that I seen his eyes change, and they went from the bluest I've ever seen to black. I saw it.
What?
With my own eyes. Absolutely. Over nothing.
And that's how you spot a psychopath.
Over nothing. And I thought, did his eyes just change, or am I crazy? And it was
Did you
over
ever-
something dumb about getting mad at a dog he was grooming at work.
Did you ever see the three whites of his eyes? Do you know what that means?
What does that mean?
So normally when you're looking at someone face to face and they're looking at you, you see their eyeball, right? Their pupil and things like that. And you just see white on both sides of the eyeball. But if you see white underneath of the eyeball and the the center of the eyeball and the iris, everything is raised, but you see 1, 2, left, right, and then underneath, that's what's called the 3 whites of the eyes.
Yeah, I mean, in
And
his court picture, it looks like that. His eyes.
That generally,
I never looked close enough.
that generally indicates, well, it can indicate a couple different, there are a few different things, but generally,
Oh yeah,
they-
this one. Yeah,
they call
His
that,
eyes
they
for
call that,
sure.
that's where the term the
Look.
1,000-yard stare came from.
Yep, look, you can see the
Look at
whites.
those eyes.
He just
Look
looks
at his
down.
eyes.
So that's where the term,
And he looks exactly the same, but older. He really does look the same.
And note
that's
the
where
long
the term,
hair.
that's where the term 1,000-yard stare came from, and that's where it comes from, again, from killers, but also that goes back to military history, from like the 1,000-yard stare. Either you're looking down the barrel of your gun, taking a life.
That's his mom.
Or-
We found his.
I found a picture of his mom.
Okay.
Looks just like
Oh
my
my
mom.
God, look at that.
Yeah.
Hair like Heather, everything.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
What a
There's a
shame
pattern.
that he could have been stopped in 1995 before any of this other stuff.
Yep.
It's just a shame.
They didn't do their jobs. It's a
Oh,
simple
okay,
But
as that.
again,
Smith, I
it's
need
all
you
in
to come
God's
out of
perfect
retirement.
timing. So
Look, Mr. Smith, I need you to come out of retirement and go do bounty hunting. I need you to go start your investigation agency. You got 2 angels there. You have another
not?
angel in the chat. So you have
Scott
3
Thomas in
angels. You got 3 angels. Okay.
Well, they
And
have
then-
they have a van, so we can,
We
can get
got all
all
the
the work.
computers in it.
We really do have a mystery machine in Akron. That's so funny.
Oh
Somebody
my
really
God.
brought a mystery machine.
I'll see if I
in
You
all,
can.
ladies-
in all actuality, though,
For
Heidi,
sale,
thank you for having me, and ladies.
yes,
this
I
is
know you
awesome.
need to go.
nice to
I got-
finally see your face.
I got 2 pugs pestering the hell
I
out
see
of
that.
me.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming up, Mr. Smith.
Well-
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you
All
all. It was awesome talking to you, and Mom, hopefully you'll get some justice here, sooner than later.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everyone
Bye.
take care.
All right. Bye. So, ladies, you guys, I mean, you ladies are impressive. I am so serious. Yes, I'm also available. I like to investigate stuff too, but you look, I ain't going around nobody's house. Okay. I'm not going standing in no
That's
sewer.
crazy. But
I'm not doing that kind of shit because
The adrenaline was pumping.
no,
let me
it was.
tell ya.
We brought snacks and everything. Like we were out there. And I'll never forget the time we were sitting there and just we thought nobody was
I'm on the
home and a light
podcast.
came on and we just saw someone in the window.
Yeah, I
Oh,
sent you the link.
sure, like
Are you at
right
work?
looking right at us.
All right.
oh my God. So
I'll
here's
call
what
you
we're going to do. So I'm going to look into your mom has my email address because I sent her an email. I'm going to pull up information. I'm going to look at this thing that you told me. Hold on, let me see what the name of it is. I have it right here. It's called The Dark Secrets of Christopher Bellow, Part 1. I see there's all kind of parts. There's part 1, Vanishing Point, The Terrible Silence.
Right.
So I'm going to dig into this. I'm going to look at that. And if you ladies can send me that map with him traveling his truck route with these missing females, if you know the names, I need to look, or maybe you guys already know. Have they been found yet? I mean, nobody's, no nothing.
None of them.
None of the bodies, even Catherine's, were never found, and he told them you're not ever gonna find her, basically.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Which leads back to the hogs because hogs eat everything. So I mean, what are you doing with how do you not find all those bodies? It's just crazy to me.
And he's living in Georgia now, right? Or North Carolina?
North
North
Carolina.
Carolina.
His daddy is in Georgia. He's in North Carolina. And
Yeah.
the woman's name, I
He
know
goes
y'all
by a
wrote it down.
different name in North Carolina. He goes by John C. Bellows.
Wait a
in North
minute.
Carolina.
He's not. Wait a minute.
He's not going
changed
by
his name.
Bellow anymore?
He's under an alias now.
After he was found out at PetSmart, he changed his name.
Yeah, one of his coworkers was reaching out. They figured out who he was, and they started spreading the word, and he changed his name.
Because, like
So
I said, he
instead
did
of
try
saying
to hide it
Bellow,
from
it's
us.
Bellow is.
Hold
he's
on,
not
I'm
in
writing
Ohio.
that name down too. Hold on. Jesus Christ. John C.
Is it still spelled
Bellow.
Bellow or is it Bellow now?
Bellows.
Oh my
Bellows.
goodness! So he really changed.
Yeah.
That card I sent you, Sarah, in the messages of his business card, it's on there. And phone
Oh my
numbers.
goodness.
Just telling
Did you send it to my email or my phone?
Your phone.
Okay, I'll look
There's
at
a
it in a minute.
business card there.
Y'all have done a great job, and I'm telling you, there's something about the timing of all of this. There's something about when Heidi first called me, I started
freezing.
shaking so hard, and she did too. And by the time we got finished with the first podcast, I knew right quick this was not like any other podcast I'd ever been a part of. You know, she read my emails back to me, and it's this heart and soul connection where we are now. And I'm telling you, hearts are breaking. God is touching hearts. There's going to be people right now after this, I guarantee, that's just going to tell what they know, and we are really, really close.
I feel that you did say that this is the year that Heather was going to come home.
Oh, it's any day now. It's
Yep, you said
absolutely
it.
any day now. Yeah, it's any day
Especially now that it's been brought up again, me and her are definitely going to be back on it because we were making TikToks for a minute about it.
Yeah, we gained some traction on TikTok actually when all of this happened. We chose to take down the videos after we posted them, just because for safety purposes. We weren't really thinking, but we did gain some traction on TikTok.
Okay, so the videos that you were doing, did you have your face and stuff in there or what?
Yeah, that's why we deleted them, because people we knew were finding them, and then we thought it might go back to him. And one of them, we were literally, that's when we walked up to the house and the hog was there. It was on video.
Yeah, we recorded. A lot of the stuff that we did was recorded.
But then we're like, well, we're probably also incriminating ourselves a little bit, so I put it in private. But we do have videos.
Yeah, we do have videos and stuff.
Hold on, do you have the video of the house with the hog now?
Yes.
It was dark outside, but it was us mostly just running and going, oh my God, there was a hog.
It was dark, but you can hear it in the video.
I think you can
hear it.
Oh my
God. We're running up to, well, we're not running, we're sneaking up to, we were going to peek in his bedroom window. We were trying to sneak up to it. We were walking.
Girls are crazy.
We were walking that way. We were walking against a fence line. And so
well, how are you going to peek in there? He could have been watching you though. Did you ever think about that?
He wasn't there.
We
knew he wasn't home.
We definitely
knew he was like asleep. But we would have went in if there was the opportunity. We would have went inside. Because I believe anywhere he went, he backed his car in. He never pulled in forward. I assume so you couldn't see the license plate or the newspaper stack in the back of his car. But he always backed in. So anytime he came home, back straight up to the house. This close to the house,
and it's like
up to the garage.
It would be touching the garage, and the passenger side would be touching the side of the house. It was so weird. Just weird.
Okay. So here's the thing. You ladies have to come back. You got to come back. We're going to talk about Andrew Cartier. We're going to talk about him, and I'm going to take a look. See, can I reach out to Detective Thomas on LinkedIn, and then I really want to know about this Kim lady. I'm gonna have to look into her and see what I can find and see if she's just dumb, stupid, or what. Because if somebody's reaching out to your daughter and you're telling them,
she has to know she changed his name because she's the one that posted his business card with the other.
Because when they got together, he was Chris. When they started dating, he was Chris. He wasn't John. So why are you wondering why your fiance changed his name?
After it all came about, she stopped posting that she was even with him. She'll post pictures, but not his name.
Mind you, this is a result of a double date with his old cellmate.
A double date with his old cellmate?
Yeah, that's how he met this
lady. The cellmate knows exactly what he knows, I would say.
Yeah, I would.
I absolutely believe that.
And that's the guy that's the guy you were talking about?
Bob Herman. That's his old cellmate.
What's his name?
We've done our investigating, girls. We don't play. Bob Herman. That's his cellmate.
What's his name again?
Bob Herman.
Bob Herman.
Please try to get me James Bellow's contact information. My grandson reset my phone. I've had his number for years. And like I said, he just called me like 3 months ago.
And he's in Georgia
I need to
now?
find Bob
He's in
Herman because I want
Georgia.
to talk to Bob Herman. I definitely want to
Yes,
talk
that
to
would be
him.
Oh,
great.
Brad,
Hattie.
tell me. That's a dead end there.
He just might if I put money on his books.
He's not in jail.
Oh, he's in jail now. This Bob Herman's in jail
No,
now.
I guess not.
Oh,
That is just.
Yeah, I need to find Bob Herman. So I'm going to see, because I would love to talk to him and see what Chris was telling him while they were in prison together.
well, see,
Has
there's
anybody talked to him?
information that the police the police could go to this guy. The police could go if they were concerned about stopping Chris Bellow. They're not.
How old is
They're
Chris?
not concerned.
Okay, how old is Chris Bellow? How old is Chris Bellow now?
Was he 56?
8 in November or October 29th or 30th. I forget.
Okay, he'll be 58 in October. 28 or the 29th.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old his father is. His father is probably the same age as Sarah.
Yes,
Do you know where-
he's my age.
Yeah, so
She
the father is
knows where North
72.
Carolina. She doesn't pull it up.
Not Gravity Falls. I can see that because of that.
Oh my God. This has been really informative. I have found out.
Oh no,
some
I'm not
information.
kidding. We called off work for this, lost sleep over this. I called off work today just so I could be a part of this because we've been
Thank you
so
so
obsessed
much.
with this.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
y'all so much.
Oh my God. Thank you
Granite
so
Falls,
much.
North Carolina is where Kim says she lives now.
And she's very like active on Facebook, so I don't think she just put a random place. Like I think she's very like, this is what I'm doing today. Look what my fiance bought me.
Hold
You
on.
know,
Let me
like,
go look at her
posts
right
everything.
now. Let me see. Can I find her? Kim. Hold on. Lail. Kim Lil.
And she's not private because she sells.
I
like
see
the-
him. I see
Everything.
them.
Everything.
Hold on. Let me bring this up. Let me bring this up. Let me show you guys so you can get a clear picture of this. Here we go. Let me show you Kim. There's Kim.
There's Kim. That's her.
Yep.
Matter
And
of
she's
fact,
very-
she
like
was
I said,
just
very
live.
active on Facebook. That's her.
That's Kim.
She like
That's not her.
they have like a group
No,
where
no,
they,
no.
like,
I don't mean that's not her. I mean, she was
Yeah.
just watching this live. She works
Yeah.
at Concentrics. She
and in
put
the
all
photos,
her
she has a lot of
information here.
photos of him. Like that, the arms around her neck makes me sick. Like that's
What's
just
wrong with her hair? Damn. Oh my God. What's wrong with her?
jump scare. But doesn't
How old
she
is
kind of
this
resemble
woman?
everybody else? It's scary.
She does
What's
have
wrong with her
resemblance.
eyebrows? Oh,
Frightening.
seriously.
He's just so scary to me. Like I can't.
Yep.
She
And the
looks
fact
good
that she is
there.
so active on Facebook tells me that she saw our messages reaching out to try to
Her
warn
daughter
her,
too. I know she's.
and
on my
they
messages.
just completely ignored us. just
Okay,
didn't
that's
care.
her daughter.
Yes,
'Cause
we
they
reached
look
out
just
to her.
alike.
Yeah.
Yep, they look just alike.
I don't remember what her daughter's name is, but I'm sure if you looked on there, you could see it. I can't remember what her name is.
So
Green
she's
eyes
got
and
like
dark
brownish
hair.
green eyes.
Green eyes and dark hair, Heidi.
Yep, that's Heather.
That is cause for concern.
Like all the same. It's crazy.
Wow.
A cougar is crazy.
Wow.
She is.
Look at this. Oh my
Yep.
God, look at this picture.
Dark hair and green
Yeah,
eyes.
nuts.
Curly hair. Heather's hair was curly too.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, let me go look at him. Let me see what more pictures of him. Okay, that's just two with him. There she is right there. Yeah, now that's her. That's her.
See, her eyes look brown.
I know they have like a group where they just like all go live on each other's Facebooks to sell like
Yeah, so
jewelry.
she's some type of consultant. She's that I had a friend that used to do that too.
Here's this one, guys.
Who's that? Go up. to the
Chris.
camera.
What,
Up
that
to the
one?
camera.
Now
That's
that's
his-
the picture that I saw of him when he worked.
That's his new Facebook. That's the name he goes by now.
Oh my goodness!
C.
Yeah, that's
Bellow.
not. Oh,
Hold
my
on,
goodness.
John C. Bellows. Hold on,
He's totally
John.
changed his name.
The
See?
scary part is next to his picture says 16 minutes ago. He could be in this podcast for all we know.
John C. Bellows.
Yep, the top one right
Oh.
there. Put it down there.
Yep, that's
That one.
Yep.
That's not him, is it? Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
That's what he looked like when we met
Preacher's
him.
son.
And then look at all his friends, all the young women, boobs
Sweet
out.
meat.
You know what I mean? Like this is
The pages that he liked or the pages he follows, it's all young girls with dark hair.
Yeah, this
He
one
don't
girl,
have any more photos.
Sanchez.
Nope, he doesn't have any more photos.
yeah. If
George
you look, they're
Hunt-
all young women.
Oh my God.
And if you go to like his liked pages and stuff, it's the same thing. Very petite young women. Like I don't know if he knows that people can like see this.
So where do I find his like pages?
Right where you're at, where it says under like on top of events, go over to the right. It says likes.
Where? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just there.
Mm-hmm.
Likes.
Down.
Y'all know. Oh my God.
Mhm.
Okay.
You see all the
Okay.
women. It's just very weird.
Oh, so he grooms animals, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't like
Okay.
animals though. He used to intentionally hurt them. He would cut them with scissors and stuff while grooming them.
On
Are you
accident.
serious?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he was like obsessed with this job. I remember my mom would tell me like she was like annoyed at the fact he would never shut up about it. And I remember the times I had been working and he'd come in and if I was working by myself or like with my friend, he just would go on and on and on about his new scissors that he got. And he's so excited to use them and just like would never shut up about this grooming job.
Granite
He was like so
Falls.
obsessed with it.
I want to see if she has any
I
more
thought he was
photos
phone
with him.
I've got to talk to him.
He's not much of a
Okay, her
picture.
hair was blonde. Here she is. Her hair was blonde.
Yep.
Hello, hello.
He had her dye it dark, I guess.
You know, she shares profile.
Yeah, this is shared. This isn't
I
free.
think that that says Ann Prem. That's Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like share each other. So it's giving MLM scams to me.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a pyramid scheme
Yeah.
type of business.
Pictures.
Her hair was blonde.
It's weird.
Okay.
It's just and all of this
Okay.
is just
Now her hair is dark. Look at this. She was live for 2 hours and 52 minutes.
I just wonder, like,
Hey
what.
everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am about 20 minutes early. My name is Kim. I'm an independent consultant for Paparazzi Accessories. Thank you so much for having
So yes,
She
that's
comes
the same thing that
doing
my
that.
friend used to do. This is weird. Okay, she's weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah. Let me. Where was that?
Okay, so yeah, but we need to get James Below's information for Sarah so she can get a hold of him. And I'm going to start attending Kim's little paparazzi meetings.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
was trying
all right,
to read it.
I gotta go. But you ladies, I definitely want you to come back. I
will.
see Vicky, I see you're there. It was nice to see you. So Vicky's still in the background. Please come back to the channel, like, subscribe. I cover a lot of current crimes, missing kids, missing people. Yeah, so but I am and I do a lot of reality. Well, I actually do some reality recaps too. But I would love to have you ladies back on. You let me know when you're available and we can go back over and see what we and see what you ladies
And
have
I'm
come
sure
up
by
with.
then we'll have a plethora of things. We'll probably have a billboard with like.
No, I'm
how to
serious. I
get
want you
started on
ladies to
that
come
too.
back.
Yeah,
'cause,
We will.
I try to
Because
get
now
with
that we've done
Sarah.
this, I have more.
Thank
like, I
you all
wanna
so much for reaching
back
out to
into
me
this.
this morning and for taking off work and This is
You're so welcome.
all in God's perfect time.
I'm serious. I had talked to
Her story alone was the one that we're really like, we have to put this man in prison. Like we literally said when we started following him around, like there's no way he's not doing something. So we were determined to get him caught somehow.
Yeah, so I did. I reached out to, because I knew Sarah was going to be busy last week. She was going off. So do you want to talk about Heather's scholarship?
It went so, it just went just absolutely perfect. The whole trip was a really nice trip, and we were able to help 11 kids this year. This is the 14th year for Heather's scholarship, and the scholarship goes nothing but the essay that they write. And I asked them to tell me their hopes, their dreams, their struggles, and who has been the most influential in their life. And that's what it goes by. I was very blessed this year to be able to help 11 kids, 4 laptops and some money.
Okay, so look at this. Denver says there are several people following Chris who also following Sarah's Facebook page.
How do y'all know that?
A lot of them are him.
Because they look to see who he follows and who's following you.
He's probably watching the show right now.
Hi, Chris.
That's what I think. It
Hi,
just
Chris.
said that he was on.
I think that you're a murderer. Hi,
He's never on
Chris.
Facebook. I had never seen that.
I'm not even on camera. Hi, Chris. I think that
he's on Reddit too, because there was a comment.
There was
a comment on the Reddit thread.
Let me talking about how amazing of a man he is, and we don't know the real Chris. And I think Chris knows exactly who he is, and I think he's proud of it.
Could have been Jennifer, the one that disappeared after he got out of prison.
Jennifer Hammonds?
You never know.
Do y'all know I know that's who Jennifer Hammonds took care of him while he was in prison. Do y'all know she's gone? She's disappeared?
Yeah. This comment is from somebody on Reddit on this very long post.
Oh my goodness, Hottie.
Him.
See, his dad told us that the whole time he was in prison, a lady named Jennifer Hammonds took care of him, sent him money and everything. And when he got out, he thought it was odd because he had heard that Jennifer Hammonds had dementia and she was 50 years old. So do y'all know for sure she's gone?
We'll look it up.
The
We'll
police
know for sure.
Okay. So how are we spelling her last name?
Hammonds.
Got it. That's what I thought. Okay.
So I thought this comment was strange. He is one of the most amazing men I've ever met. He made one very bad mistake. One, not more than that. He paid his time. He is remorseful and loves daily with regrets. People change. God changes people.
Who wrote that?
A couple of the disciples commented murder and were changed and forgiven, just as Chris has been. I think that it's him. I think it's him reading these posts and commenting these things.
Maybe.
Oh my God.
And he's still being entertained.
Like there were hundreds of people that saw this post.
So it's on a Reddit thread. What is the Reddit page that you're on?
I think it's since been deleted because when I go to the notifications on my Reddit, it doesn't come up anymore.
Oh,
if I can find it, I'll send it over.
Yeah, just send it because your mom has my email. Send it to me. Oh my God. So yes, so I try to I'm always in contact with Sarah. And when Sarah has new stuff or she wants to talk about things or something else is going on, I always give her the platform to come in, say what's going on, voice it, let people, because people are really, really, really intrigued with this case. And they really want to know what happened, where she is, what are the cops doing? And, people are really feeling that it's like Kentucky State Police, Tennessee, and they border each other. There's so many missing people that just vanishes without a trace. And no one does anything. I mean, it's like they're just poof, they're gone. And, for a while, they're all gun-ho on it. But from what I'm hearing about Heather's case, there was nothing gun-ho about her case. Nobody really did anything to help Sarah. They they just basically ignored everything she was saying. They basically laughed in her face a couple of times when she went to the police station. So I think they do know that Chris Bellow is involved. And I keep going back to that FBI file when it clearly states that there is public corruption, and that they are really, they actually go after the methamphetamine users or dealers, but they keep their cocaine dealers safe. And that is in an FBI file. So the FBI knows there's corruption. I think they do know what happened to Heather. I think someone has told them. And like I told her before, I think that she keeps thinking that Tim Walthall was working for the police. No, Tim Walthall had a few police officers he worked with in a drug business that probably Heather was getting ready to turn evidence on them, and they had to get rid of her. And that's what I believe. Because on one of the forms, well, a couple of the forms in the corner, it stated WITSAC.
Witness WP program. Yes, it
Yep.
did.
So, but maybe she was going to turn state's evidence, and then you find out that James, oh, I wanted to ask Christopher Hicks if he was related to James Hicks. Damn it. Is Chris related to James Hicks?
You talking about James Hendricks?
Oh, Hendricks. Oh, damn. No, they're
Yeah,
not
no.
related then. Shit. Okay. So anytime you have a cop that's meeting with a female that's supposed to be, I'm going to say decoy, or she was a CI, and he goes to the mother's house to try to clear this up when his wife said that he had met with Heather the night before in the wee hours of the morning, and then he goes over to Sarah's house and tell her it was 3 weeks beforehand. Why would your wife make that up?
Well, the thing about that is the FBI weren't even on Heather's case when he.
I'm not even talking about the FBI. He
Yeah.
wasn't an FBI agent at that time. He was just an officer.
Right. But when James Hendricks came to my home, he had already been FBI.
Yeah.
But yeah, the wife
So then-
didn't lie. No, she didn't lie. And then we've got the Heather's last known whereabouts as being 3:00 p.m. on a public boat ramp. And that's where she met James Hendricks at 3 a.m. because Newburgh Beach is not a public boat ramp.
I think it's a full cover up,
Oh,
and
it is.
they know what's going on.
That's
And
why
to
we
keep-
have a special prosecutor. being
Yep, and to
appointed.
keep this
They
mother
know.
in agony almost 29 years makes no sense to me. Can you tell Allie and Erica and Lori what you wrote when Heather was 23 months old?
Okay, on the third week of looking for Heather, I had just about had enough. I came home and the house was full of people, and I heard somebody screaming, and it was me. And a young man brought me a whole box of things that I had left in Seabury in the attic where we used to live. And the moon was full, and I went through this box. I found Heather's little baby teeth, one of her little shoes. And in the bottom of this box was a journal that I had written to Heather when she was 23 months old. And an entry dated August the 25th of 1974. I wrote, "I am so afraid a big man will someday take my Heather away." On August the 26th, when she was 23 years old, that's what they told me had happened. And if y'all have read any of Heather's writings, she wrote, "And I am a poster child." Her writings are so prophetic that there's a much bigger picture going on here than anybody can realize, because Heather even wrote judges in their little black robes telling their little white lies. She wrote, beside intolerant faces I stand, holding heart and soul in hand, reaching for someone to remember, to comprehend my desperation. And that's what I'm living right now. She says, "Is there anything left that's pure?" She said, "I know addicts of hypocrisy, mockery, the drug of choice." And that's what they've done to me. I would bring in this sketch, and I mean, they would laugh at me. They would point at this one, the way Marty Deal looked, and I'm sure his hair's pulled back in a ponytail. And I even wrote to the Secretary of Justice, Ishman Burke, about the sketch being identical. And I recorded the meeting, and so did they. And they absolutely told an outright lie to the Secretary of Justice that Marty Dill wasn't a suspect until after the sketch was drawn. Marty Dill was a suspect on August the 29th of 95, and the sketch was drawn August the 30th. They framed Marty Dill. Marty Dill wasn't on the beach. His Bronco was filmed. The brother-in-law had driven it. Marty Dill did not do this. Marty may have helped after the fact, but they literally manipulated this sketch and caused his death. It's
Yeah.
they've gone to the extreme lengths to hide whatever really did happen that day. And it's
So
lasted almost 29 years, but it's okay, because just like Lori, first thing this morning, I was really burdened about what we were going to talk about today, and I didn't know how much, the theories, how many theories we were going to go into, and I was praying about it, and I had a message from Lori first thing this morning, and I knew right then when she and I were talking that this is exactly where we were supposed to be, that these it was all in God's perfect timing, because Heidi's got a way of pulling and connecting hearts and souls, and that's what this whole search for Heather is all about. When hearts break with ours, the walls of injustice will fall down. I wrote that, girl. They brought me a picture of, it looked like Heather's face lying on a table surrounded by three men. They told me, the artist that drew the pictures told me that Heather had been killed on a snuff film. They have tried to stop me from looking for Heather year after year. It didn't matter the horrible stories I had to hear. That didn't matter. They wanted me to stop. At 2 months, the lieutenant told me to stop. Who does that? Who tries to take away a mother's hope at 2 months? It was because by then, people were coming to me saying, Marty didn't do this. Marty was bald. Marty wasn't the man that did this. So from then on, they still haven't admitted Marty Dill was bald, but they will.
they will. And now that there's a special prosecutor there, but I'm definitely going to check in with you probably Friday or Saturday, Sarah,
Okay.
to see what else is going on. But I'm telling you, this man, Chris Bellow or John C. Bellow or Bellows, whatever he's calling himself now, he is responsible for what happened to your daughter.
Yes.
I saw that sketch, and when I saw that picture, the first picture she put up when he was in the courtroom, I said, oh my God, this is the same person in that sketch.
And see, Detective Scott Thomas, like I said, he knew. He came into Post 16 and he found that evidence that they had let set for 10 years. And he tried his best to get them to do something with Chris Bellow. And see, the Kentucky State Police won't close Heather's case. They won't even declare it a cold case, even though it's been 28 years.
And they're supposed to review their cases, cold cases, every 3 months. And I don't see where that's happened.
Oh,
but
no.
I'm just, in my opinion, it has to do with drugs. It really has to do with drugs. And I think that she knew something, and I don't know if it was about kids being abused or young women being groomed. She knew something. She saw something she didn't like, and she went to talk to someone. They told the wrong person. It got back to the group, and they had to remove her.
Right.
And that's my feelings.
I think that's pretty right on.
And no, the DNA is still sitting in Florida. They haven't tested her DNA, anything. Do you know they've had her bikini bottoms and the towel that was on the beach that they found when they went looking for, and they've never tested those items at all?
Well, this is what happened. They waited 27 years to send Heather's bathing suit bottoms. The last thing Heather wore and the last thing Heather clung to, they waited 27 years to send them off. They sent them to the DNA International Lab in Florida. After 9 months, I got an email from Lieutenant Pryor saying that testing had begun and that they needed more funding. 11 months into this, almost a year after the Florida lab has Heather's bathing suit bottoms in her towel, 11 months later, the FBI sends the state police sends me an email saying the FBI had told the state police that the Florida lab would ruin the evidence, and that their lab could do it cheaper, and that they had made arrangements for the evidence to be with their Kentucky Central Lab in Frankfurt to get the evidence out of the Florida lab. Okay, I call the Kentucky Central Lab, and the lady tells me, we have not heard from the Kentucky State Police since 2007.
Ain't that crazy?
They know that the touch DNA will not be Marty Deal, and they don't aim for it to come back. It's going to be Chris Bellow, and there you go. They've already ruined it, and by protecting Chris Bellow, how many other women have disappeared since 1995?
Well, I've counted. I've actually counted 15 now because,
And
yeah,
another one 2 years ago that probably.
so
It's just
It's
too
just
connected.
wrong. It's just wrong. It's a shame and a disgrace to everything we hold precious. I've
Yep.
written that for years and years and years, and it's the truth. It's just
So
a
you-
shame.
Yep. So you ladies have the email address. Whatever you want to come up and talk about, whatever you find, you let me know. We can do this. Sarah, the same thing. Whatever thing.
I know that, Heidi. Thank you so much.
So let me tell you what Sarah does. If I don't get an email from Sarah in a day, and then another day goes by and my phone isn't going, Sarah Teague, and I call, I'm like, hello, are you okay?
Yes, we keep up with each other. But you know
Yeah,
what? You girls have blessed me and your mama, because what God gave me about hearts breaking with ours, the walls of injustice will fall down, through that horrible experience of being told that Heather was killed on that snuff film. You girls, your hearts broke for my girl, and y'all have stuck your neck out and done some amazing things, and I appreciate it so much. And I'm just so thankful, because y'all saved your mama's life. There's no doubt about that.
I do believe they did.
I believe y'all did.
They did, but I don't know what you were thinking about, Lori, when you going on a date and you have to get in the back seat with newspapers. I don't know what you were thinking about, Lori. I have no idea what you were thinking about.
Like, what?
He's like, what?
Like, what? Driving Miss Daisy? What is this?
And she just thought it was like something funny, and we just thought he was a weird guy. And I mean it.
No, he took the locks off the doors, disabled the windows so people can't
She's
get out
stuck
the
in
car.
the car, and then she still dates him. Like,
Yeah, and that's what he did.
There's always
That's
bias in the area.
Look, let's find. I want to know if we contact his girlfriend's daughter, if the doors and the windows work on the car he's driving now. I bet they don't. I bet there's only one that works.
It's probably the same
I
car.
bet it's the same car.
What kind of car was it?
A
What did he
Honda
drive then?
CRV.
Yeah, it was a
Gold-
Honda CRV.
Like a gold Honda CRV.
It was like a dark
Okay.
goldish brown
Like a
color.
taupe, maybe.
Yeah, it was dark.
See,
it was
if it's
a-
an
it was
older
a
car, people really don't pay attention to it, especially if you're committing crimes. Because you don't want
Dark.
anything noticeable to fly. You're
Yeah, it was nothing
absolutely
that would have
right.
stood out, honestly.
Yep.
It was like a
Yep.
small SUV. It was nothing crazy.
A Honda
So it's an
CRV.
SUV.
A
Yeah.
smaller one, yeah. It wasn't a car.
Okay.
Like, it had a hatch on the back where you could pull it up.
Yep, you can put bodies in there too.
Yeah, you
Lori,
sure could.
I'm glad you're still here, Lori. I'm glad you're
We had
still
the back
here.
seats like folded down the time we found the car at PetSmart. The seats were folded all the way down. Like, what are you loading in there that you got to lay the seats down?
Nothing.
A
Nothing.
body.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say, ladies, have a good evening. Let's reconvene again. Lori, it's so nice to meet you. Erica, Allie, so nice to meet you. Please be careful because you guys have a knack for snooping, and I am so proud of the job that you have done.
Oh, you're amazing.
I'm serious. You guys are great. But we're going to see what Mr. Smith comes up with. And he is retired, but he goes and he looks. And, you know, if he gets his friends to look, like now the process is you have to have a reason to look up certain things, because if not, you know, you'll get in trouble. So he's been doing a lot of this, going behind the scenes and trying to get some questions and answers. But he knew all about Detective Thomas because he's really been looking into this case and about this Chris Bellow person. So let's see. Hopefully he does something stupid that's going to get him caught. But yeah, I need to look in these bodies. So you need to send me, please, if you don't mind, these ladies' names. I want to look and see if any one of these women have ever surfaced. Or yeah, that's what I want to know, because somebody needs to say something. And I'm sure he's on somebody's radar. He has to be.
Now he has for sure.
He has to be on somebody's radar. But if he's killing in different states, they're not putting it together.
Scott Thomas.
Yep. So Detective Thomas. Yes. I forgot. What is his name again?
Scott Thomas.
Scott Thomas. Thank you.
A good one. He's
Detective Scott Thomas.
He tried his best.
Yeah, because that's what I couldn't get. I couldn't get what Mr. Smith was saying, because he was looking at all his notes. He's been really digging into this. But Detective Scott Thomas, and he's on LinkedIn. And you know, cops do take files with them, or even their personal notes. They take their, you know, like he said, they'll take copies. He has to have something.
This is Ruby, y'all.
Where?
That's my dog.
Oh my God.
That's Ruby.
Hi, Ruby.
Say hey.
Oh my God, she's pretty.
She's about this little, yeah.
She's beautiful. But I need to go because I need to get myself
All
together
right, love y'all.
for tomorrow. I love you, ladies. I will definitely we'll definitely talk. Lori, Allie, Erica. Bye, ladies. Take it easy. Be safe. Bye. Sarah, I love you, dear. I will definitely talk to you soon. I need to go get myself together. And I was supposed to go to the office half a day today, but for some reason I wrangled my way out of it. But I need to be in the office at least half a day tomorrow. So
any day now, Heidi. I'm telling you.
I know it's any day. I know it.
Any day
and
now.
Thank you all for coming. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe. Please hit the subscribe and like button. And I'm going to see you I'm going to talk to you soon. Yes. Bye, Vicky. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Vicky.
Bye. I will definitely talk to you guys later. Vicky, bye, sweetie.
You know, she supports me every single year.
I just put her up there
for Heather Scholarship. And I've never physically met her, but I will someday. She's precious.
She's a beautiful woman. I love her hair.
Yes, she is.
Okay. I will talk to you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
They usually just point me in a direction.
Bye, guys. Have a good evening. I will talk to you later. Bye.